You know what time it is? It's time for sips. Skull, as Harps reminds us every week. In there nice and early again, I see my good friend. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Good Friday. I don't know about you, but I always celebrate with the steak. I had bacon and eggs for breakfast. I wanted to make sure I insulted every religion all in one hit just by simply being, by simply making a choice for myself and not allowing some sort of I don't know, what do you want to call it, control system, for lack of a better term, dictate to me the terms and conditions, what is going to be on my fucking plate. So, happy steak day. Yes, the taste of freedom. That's what it is. The taste of freedom. The ability to go, I'm going to eat the fucking cow god on the day that you're supposed to eat something else while immersing yourself in pig culture. Why not? Pig's blood super soakers all round. Let's solve the world's problems by simply doing as you fucking please. Did I upset you by eating food? Holy shit, you've got some serious issues. Sips. Ah, yes. The taste of freedom. Anyway, there's been a shit show this week, as usual. It's always a shit show, isn't it? I contemplated, do you think we should do like a minute silence for Desi Freeman? I mean, I wore the right t-shirt for old mate, I mean, let's face it. Who's remembered in the Ned Kelly scenario? Not the assholes. Yeah, they're remembered for being assholes, that's for sure. But seem to support the Ned Kelly side of things generally. I mean, what a way to make another martyr! Congratulations, Victorian Police. You guys are really fucking good at it. It's been a historical trend, I guess, for a little while there to make martyrs out of those that you hate. What can I say? And perfect timing too. Right here at Easter. Sacrifices and all these sorts of things are always on the cards. That's the religious way, I guess, making sacrifices. Wow, you can dive into that. As you probably can tell, I've been involved in the Christmas cheer in the middle of Easter, just a little bit early. But nectar of the gods and all, speak that truth. Speak that truth. So, anybody else getting down with the syndrome? Where should we start? All right, I've got an idea. We'll do a quick little bit of Alpu memesies, just for shits and giggles before I bring in our amazing guest, Darryl O'Bryan. You all know Darryl. He's a good bloke. He's always there to stir up trouble with me. Maybe not to the extent that I just started this show. He's probably a little bit more reserved than I am when it comes to those sorts of things. But me, I just don't give a shit. And as I was explaining to my cousin just the other day, I just don't have a fucking filter anymore. I really don't care. I'm going to tell you what I fucking think, even if you asked for it or not. But generally, I'll be kind enough to allow you the opportunity to ask. But if you've come to this podcast, then that's just as good as asking. So therefore, I'm going to tell you just the way it's going to be. It's just the new 2026 baddie who's got even more middle fingers than his hands are capable of holding. Where the fuck is it? More Christmas cheer, please. More Christmas cheer. Can solve a few problems with that. Alrighty then. So Alpu memesies.
How chuffed Anthony Albanese is about his guy.
That's in the wrong spot. That shouldn't be there. This is where we want to start. Get that over there. Damn default things always seems to be the wrong fucking size. And sorry, the glare from that light that illuminates me so well is a bit hard to see sometimes. It's like staring into the fucking sun. But anyway, we're getting there. And Alpu memesies. So, I noticed there's a little bit more artistic integrity with the internet these days. And I mean, look at the art. Isn't that just a stunning reflection of the times? Best ways to destroy Australia: mass immigration, increase government spending, raise taxes, ban coal and gas, censor free speech, and make sure everybody's told to shut up in the process. You do not care what they think. Well done, butterfly. Yep, that's it. Done caring. Standing in my own sovereignty, and I don't care. Right, what the fuck was that? Australia loses it over Elbow's primetime nothing burger. It really does sum it up, you know. I didn't even have to waste my time watching Alpu's fucking horrific attempt at addressing the Australian people to know that it was going to be a whopping pile of festering shit. Every time a politician with ties to the World Economic Forum every politician with ties to the World Economic Forum should be on suspicion of high treason, arrested on suspicion. Yeah, I agree. You know, well, didn't the government create terrorist laws? You know, so we can just accuse people of being a terrorist and arrest them. Well, shit. Perfect time, ASIO. Perfect time for the police. You know, all those systems that we have absolutely no faith in, you might get some back if you start arresting the politicians. Anyway, instead, you guys are defending them, but that's a whole nother story. If you think this is a moron, you should meet the people that voted for him. Yeah, I tell you what, it's fucking hard. Bloody hard. Guns are not the problem. This mob is. Yeah, see, not too much Christmas cheer to censor myself there. Sips. Only in the name of trying to be somewhat decent in a world full of shit. Imagine a government operated so poorly they resort to importing an entirely new set of voters because they lost the citizens' vote. Well, don't need to imagine it. We're seeing it in real time, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing it in real time. Oh, that's in the wrong spot too, but that doesn't matter. That's in the wrong spot, and that's also in the wrong spot. So is that, and I've done a great job today, you know. Oh, yeah, the assassinated Japanese PM didn't follow WEF orders, didn't mandate vaccines, sent 1.6 million doses back, and gave citizens ivermectin. Makes sense. All makes sense. Stages of remigration. Here's a wonderful idea. You know, 1, deport all the illegals in the system and close the borders, remove all benefits for illegal migrants, refugees, asylum seekers, etc. Deport all foreign criminals. Great start. Deport all who have entered illegally, regardless of entry time. Return refugees. Definitely. You know, I mean, we could just stop bombing the fuckers. Then there wouldn't be refugees. Problem solved. There's so many simple solutions to a lot of these problems. Deport all immigrants on behalf of those with deport all immigrants on benefits and those without work. Deport any foreigner working against our interests. That'd be a vast majority, I'd imagine. Voluntarily repatriate with financial incentives in place to encourage departure. Either you get on the plane by yourself, or it will be nice and buy you the ticket. That's about all you're going to get from us, you know. And well, if all else fails, number 7, forced repatriation. Apparently, we'll deal with that another day. Anyway, that was a quick little lot of Alpu memesies to sort of get through, because I know you guys become accustomed to these sorts of things. We're going to make sure it continues to happen. So anyway, I guess we'll get into the crux of it. You know, amazingly, Darryl hasn't run away after that amazing intro. We'll see how he goes now. How are you, mate?
Oh, very good, Betty. Very good, mate. And how are you?
Entertained?
Oh, always. Sips, mate.
Sips, my friend.
Always entertained, especially at this time of year. And where would you be? Where else would you be but Australia to witness all of this absolute incredible, what would you call it?
Shit fuckery?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, shit show.
Yeah, complete and utter bloody chaos. The decimation of all that we know that was once good and pure.
I think we're not unique. We're not unique. It seems to be happening all over the world, but we thought here in Australia we had some sort of immunity from this sort of crap, but clearly not. It's happening.
That's for sure. I was talking to a little old lady in the supermarket the other day, and, you know, what do you think of Trump? My husband loves him. I'm like, well, you know, I kind of had a little bit of hope for a moment there, but it's fleeting, gone, and pretty much gone now. I mean, he was supposed to be the no war president, and I could have fucking stood by him for so long as that happened, but motherfucker's blowing the world up just like the rest of them, so it's kind of hard to have any support, you know. She's gone, really? Is it that bad? I'm like, this is all by design. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, do you seriously think that every Western nation has exactly the same problems for years on end at the exact same time without that being planned? Come on. How daft.
Uh,
But
but
them's the breaks. People just don't want to accept that which is right before their eyes. Been trained not to see it, I guess.
well, Australia is a population of sheep.
Yep. And there's a lot of sheep farmers around.
A lot.
Mm.
So we've got to figure out where we've gone wrong and try and work our way out of it.
Well, it's a tough one because it doesn't seem to matter how far back in history I go. We always seem to have the same fundamental problems. You know, we're all always told a big whopping pile of shit. People keep believing it, and they always spend their time on their knees.
Yes, and we do it exceptionally well, don't we, here in Australia?
She'll be right, eh?
Yeah,
She'll be right.
mate. But I didn't think it stretched that far. Right.
Well, I think that attitude of she'll be right. It's all good. It'll get better tomorrow.
Yeah,
No, it
hopefully.
only ever gets worse.
Yep, because we have that attitude.
Mm.
And we just keep going. She'll be right. She'll be right. She'll be right. Well, we're putting that to the test, aren't we? Very efficiently. Very
most assuredly. So, actually, there's one here in amongst the shit show there. I guess we started during the week. I reached out to you and I sent you this image.
Yes.
And I said, hey, man, do you want to have a yarn? Because when I looked at this horrific amount of what the fucks, I thought, well, if anybody's got their finger on the pulse, it'll be Darryl. You know, I mean, here we are. You know, I mean, in amongst all the other shit, we've got 22 fucking bills rammed through in 2.5 days from a bunch of people who wouldn't know what fucking work was if their life depended on it. Yep. On Monday, they rammed through 5 Fair Work Amendment, if there's such a thing as fair work in a world full of slaves. Defense and Veterans Service Commission, speaking of slavery, Defense and Veterans Service Commission, again, more slavery. Universities Accord, training to be a slave. Universities Accord, again, more training to be a slave. They obviously dealt with slavery pretty good on Monday. You know, National Ability Insurance Scheme, the result of being a slave. Copyright Amendment Bill, just in case you thought you could get out and act in freedom in any way, shape, or form. I'm hoping they're actually going to protect people's copyright things, but I have a feeling it's not for my benefit. Export Finance and Insurance Corporation Amendment, like, wow, that's a huge one. Strategic Reserve, that's interesting. Treasury Laws Amendment, Fuel Excise Relief. So Treasury Laws Amendment and Fuel Excise, that's interesting fucking combination, isn't it? And on the Wednesday, so they really went to town on the Wednesday. You know, you could like, let's really ram them through. Social Security and Other Legislation Amendment, technical changes number 1. What the appropriation, fuel security. So that sounds like theft, and they did it twice. Veterans Affairs Legislation Amendment, Commonwealth Parole Board Bill. Commonwealth Parole, is that the parole for the, you know, them when they get arrested? I don't know. It's the first thing. I guess it's wishful thinking, probably. Treasury Laws Amendment, protection in life insurance and other measures. Genetic testing protections, like what? How does genetic testings and protections work? It just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's scary shit. National Health Amendment right after it. Well, and passive immunology products. What's passive about immunology? It usually seems invasive to me. Excise tariff amendment, customs tariff, corporations amendment, digital assets framework. And what exactly do they mean by digital assets? Is in our ID becoming an asset to them, like much like the birth certificate. Translating and interpreting services bill. Migration amendment. Oh my God! Combating migrant exploitation. For fuck's sake, who's the king of exploiting migrants? The fucking Labor Party. Fuck me. Well, that's one hell of a shit show, my friend. But yeah, 22 bills rammed through in next to 2.5 days before Easter while everybody is distracted with no debate. It's so typical of the Labor government. They've been doing this shit for over 50 fucking years now, if not longer. And it just gets worse and worse as time goes on. So I've introduced the topic, my friend. Off you go.
Well, let's have a look at. I sent you the ODGES.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the ODGES is the Australian Senate's sort of rules of how the Senate can operate. And essentially, you've got to go, well, hang on. Pretty much right throughout that ODGES, which is the 14th edition, we've got the capacity of the House to, when it comes to a bill being proposed from the lower house, then essentially they've got to follow the rules of the ODGES. And we're now on number 14. So, God, they've been changing the rules around the Senate.
Government changing the rules never.
But essentially what comes out of this, these urgent bills that have to be slammed through in record time, are they approved through the ODGES? Well, when you go through the ODGES, no, not really. There's still a process that needs to take place with respect to urgent bills. And that depends on the subject matter. And it also depends on whether the House has had a majority on the floor to give approval for that bill to go through as urgent. So you've got to go, well, hang on. Have they followed due process? I don't believe they have. And we also need to look at Section 22 and Section 23 of the Constitution.
But before we jump to the Constitution, though, look, what is it in the ODGES? Because it's a 1,000-page document.
Yeah, it's a big document.
Is it something you wanted to sort of highlight here?
Well, I mean, you can go just through the index, and it's enough to sort of bring you into question what means urgent. So, urgent bills. So, can the Senate actually operate with urgent bills? And essentially, they have a bit of a problem justifying. What comes out of this more than anything is they are required to have a vote, right? Regardless, they must vote on whether that amendment or whether that bill can be classified as urgent. And I think it's chapter 14, quorum. See, quorum, that calls into play the sections 22 of the Constitution, and quorum requires there to be a minimum in the House before they can pass any vote to do with any application or any operation in the House that requires a vote. And that quorum is bound until the Parliament otherwise provides. It requires a minimum of a third of the House to vote. And one of the things that I couldn't find with respect to this urgent bills being jammed through as to whether there was actually a quorum in the House and whether they were satisfying the ODGES requirements of what a quorum is. So, the presence of at least 1/3 of the whole number of the senators shall be necessary to constitute a meeting for the Senate for the exercise of its powers. So this is fairly crucial, and it's something that's being abused again and again and again in that House, and especially
when that section in the Constitution again, was it
Section 22?
Section 22.
Yeah.
I'm way past it.
Yeah, so it dictates predominantly, otherwise, the process for which any, with respect to any meeting in the House, for the exercise of the powers that the House has the power to operate. So can it vote on an urgent, so any movement in the House, so we're seeking leave, or, there's all these different requirements that come through the ODGES, details more than anything what Section 22 says. And it's the job of the President of the Senate to make sure that there is a quorum in the House. So the first thing the President has to do is get someone to count the amount of people in the House, how many are present, and then once they've established that they fulfill the requirements of Section 22, then they go for the vote, or any challenges to that vote. And, there's a whole process that's got to be fulfilled. But essentially, they can't do anything without fulfilling that first obligation under the Constitution to make sure there's enough people in the House to vote. And I don't believe there was. This is typical of Labor. They've been misbehaving when it comes to voting on the floor of the House, even though they have a majority in the House, and you'd think it'd be fairly straightforward. Any senator has the ability to call into question any bill that's proposed under the ODGES, any bill, and even the application of how fast that bill is put through the House. They have to follow the rules of the House, and clearly they're not, because there's so many different subject matters on those 22 listed. Some subject matters can be dealt with in an urgent capacity. Others, there has to be approval from the House as to how this is going to be all put to the House and put to the vote. And that's all part of that whole, like you said, it's a 1,000-page document. This is basically the first thing that a senator gets, and in order to get how to operate in the Senate, right? So they have to have a pretty good understanding of the ODGES. I can bet you bottom dollar that they haven't. None of them have got any idea.
Certainly seems to be the case. It's fake it to make it. It seems to be the standard run of the mill for the politicians these days.
Oh, totally. And this is
all right. We've got an advisor to advise us. They'll read it and let us know what to do. We're just here for show.
Yeah, it's just a joke. The whole thing's a joke. And under Section 23 of the Constitution, questions arising in the Senate shall be determined by a majority of votes. And each senator shall have one vote. The President shall in all cases be entitled to a vote, and when the votes are equal, the question shall pass in the negative. So it's all fairly straightforward. Section 23 they can't screw around with. They can screw around with Section 22 because it says until the Parliament otherwise provides. But the question's got to be put to the President. Was there a quorum in the House? Were there any objections? Were those objections dealt with properly? Otherwise, what's the point of the ODGES? What's the point of all of this? Seriously, that's
the $1 million question when it comes to government in general at the moment, is what is the point of this when they obviously are not listening? They don't give a shit. Albo's openly admitted he doesn't even read the comments on his X post. Fuck, you probably should. Because no one's patting him on the back, that's for sure.
Well, they're supposed to have advisors. Like in Senator Cullerton's office, we had one advisor whose job it was just purely social media. So it's all part of the whole process. You have these staff for a reason, to basically keep in contact with your constituency and be seen to be doing some bloody thing on their behalf and getting some sort of feedback. But there were many subject matters you highlighted there, of which some I'm quite interested in, relating to what's happening in the courts at the moment. So the amendments to the Fair Work Act, well, gee, what were they? And was that to do with the fact that there's someone in the High Court at the moment challenging the whole COVID scam with respect to the medication being dealt out through employers, as to whether that's actually, and what we were saying, the Fair Work Act is in fact it overrides the state's ability to issue a health direction. Have they made amendments to the act to restrict that? Because, geez, that's so bloody awkward, isn't it? Treasury.
Have you had a chance to look at any of these 22 bills? I mean, again, I was talking to a fellow, a good friend the other day, and I think it was in 2004. He claims there was 10,366 laws and bylaws.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been ramming shit through so quickly since then. I can imagine that number is significantly larger. How in the hell is anybody supposed to not be ignorant of the law?
Well, they actually promote it through they slam the stopwatch on members of parliament to say, right, we need to get this through as quick as possible, so you don't actually have a chance to read it and get an idea of what it's all about, and then put a motion up in the House to challenge it. They don't want that. They just want these things slammed through. So then what's the whole point of the whole due process that we've created through that parliamentary system? They're trying to bypass this. They're all very jealous of Queensland.
Yeah, well, it's not something to be proud of, having no upper house. It's a shit show, And again, how the fuck did that even come to pass? Like, it does my head in. It really does. Like, to have these checks and balances fucking removed is astonishing.
Right. Yeah. How long is it going to take Australia to wake up and say, stop it? Stop it, guys, please. The bullshit's coming in so hard and fast now. Oh, gee, what's going on?
It's madness. And I mean, obviously our alleged prime minister, I don't know,
the alleged prime minister, the one that's usurped the role of the governor general.
Yeah, wow.
That one.
Well, that's it. They appoint them now. Like, they're on the payroll. And for a governor general to turn around and say, well, we can't remove them, get fucked. You just did it to fucking Whitlam.
That's right.
Don't tell me it can't be done. We've seen it historically can be done. So what a pile of shit. Flat out lie. The only reason it can't be done is because you want to keep your fucking job. And you know who gave it to you.
Well, let's have a look at the most powerful corporations in Australia at the moment. The ones that have hit the top 5 or the top 4 in Australia on the stock exchange. It just happens to be the 4 banks.
I thought you were going to go like, say, Woodside Energy and all those other mobs. Again, like all the energy companies are raking in huge profits at the moment as well. Isn't that interesting?
Isn't it?
Let's not let a good tragedy go to waste, ladies and gentlemen. There's money to be made here. Totally.
And yet there's not too much said about the fact that whether our oil actually comes through the Strait of Hormuz.
Apparently, a lot of it's coming from Russia. I think it was Babette was posting, right, how much of it's coming through from Russia. And of course, Penny Wong does a attempt to try and say, well, you have the wrong view of everything. I don't agree with your view, but let's look at it. And it's very hard for other countries to know where they get their oil from. Get fucked. Isn't that what the bookkeeping's for? You've got to be shitting me. I mean, the ability of the Labor government to flat out lie is astounding.
That's all they know how to do.
Yeah. There is something else they know how to do. I want to point this video out because this is on our illustrious Prime Minister. Here's an example of what we've got to deal with.
Uneasy is about his tie. He wants to show it off to everybody. I was filming him yesterday at Box Hill for a Chinese New Year's celebration, and it's the year of the rabbit, and his tie's red with lots of little rabbits, and he needs to show everyone. Look at it. Oh, yeah, nice, sir. Very good. Oh, here's number 3. What's that? Oh, rabbits on the tie. Thumbs up, sir. And then, not to be outdone by a thumbs up, we get a little chef's kiss. He's so pleased. Look at that face. I had to ask him about it.
Was the tie on purpose, or were you just supporting the Rabbitohs?
No, it's a conscious red with bunnies. Perfect.
Those were some
Yeah, red. Because he's communist. That's why he likes red. And he's got bunnies on it because I'm a big boy now.
Isn't that embarrassing?
Oh, I like, but how chuffed and proud, like the look on his face, and you see the poor woman sitting next to him, like, yeah, that's wonderful, Prime Minister, really wonderful. You know, we're not primary school anymore. You know that, right? Like, what the fuck? And this guy's running the show. You've got to be shitting me.
And they're saying it's the year of the rabbit. No, it's not. It's the year of the fire horse. Oops, we won't mention his mistake there, right?
No, of course not.
No.
But as far as he's concerned, as a Rabbitohs fan, he took over the whole fucking ground recently and, you know, made it all about him. Fuck the footy people who earned their keep there. No, it's all about the Prime Minister. You know, like, fuck me. You know, as far as he's concerned, it is the year of the rabbit. It's his footy team. Oh, local sports team. Fuck me.
Oh, it's sad, isn't it?
Oh, it's beyond a joke.
Oh, mate, 22 urgent pieces of legislation. Like the Australia cannot survive unless those 22 pieces of legislation are slammed through. Isn't that just so pitifully sad? Pitifully sad. Gee, you guys, you've got nothing better to do but screw us all over. And we've got Treasury amendments. That's interesting too.
Yeah. Wow. Have you had a chance to look at any of those amendments? Like, what exactly is this going to mean for the Australian people? I mean, it's, like I said, it's so much shit. Like, how could anybody be well versed in it? I mean, even those who may have had an opposition to it, did they even get a chance to read it or see it? How are you supposed to vote and go along with something when you've got no idea what's going on? It's beyond a joke.
That's right. And this is the problem with the House is not being given a chance. This is why this urgent applications just weapons grade bullshit when it comes to what the Odgers prescribes. There is no authority for them to slam these things through without separating each and every bill and going, hang on, does this fulfill the requirements under an urgent application? No, it doesn't. Oh, do we need a vote on the House? Yes, you do. Oh, we don't want to go through that process because then it doesn't deem it to be urgent anymore. Well, gee, find someone that cares. Do the due process or don't bother coming to work. Really? Yeah. Come on, guys, get your act together. Do you know what the rules of the House are? Like if you're a truckie and I'm a plumber, if I went to the job and just operated off another set of rules, I don't think I'd be very successful at all.
And
how would you go?
I'm a truck driver and I've decided I'm driving on the right side of the road today.
How does that go?
Yeah.
It's not going to go real well for a lot of other people.
Not at all.
And I mean, now we look at who's dictated this price rise in the fuel? Who's actually the one pushing that button saying, or the one making the decision, yes, we're going to put the price up that amount, and that's because of the war in another country on the other side of the planet. Right. Why did it hit over $3 a litre for diesel? Yeah. Why $3? Why not $4? Or why not $2.80?
Why diesel being a less refined product, why is that worth more than the more heavily refined product being petroleum in the 95 and the 98s as well? Like that again makes no fucking sense. Like, I mean, given the extra, processing required for that, fuel, shouldn't that be higher? No, they're targeting specifically industry. Yeah.
They want to bring the country to a halt. This is their sort of lockdown. It's not due to a disease. It's due to
Well, there
the
is a
petrol
disease. It's called politics, but that's another thing.
Yeah, that's another thing we've been talking on about, yes. But why would you just take a diesel specifically and put that up at such a high price? And what's that actually doing? Because I think during COVID, it was oil was up to $120 a barrel,
Mm.
and yet it's just over $100 a barrel now. So, and we didn't get such a huge price rise back in COVID. So
We got a price drop during COVID.
yeah,
You're not allowed to go anywhere, but the fuel's cheap. What?
this is just what a shit show.
Mm.
And gas, LPG. Now
We
people
got an abundance.
LPG everywhere.
Mm.
And why have we got
And
abundances of petrol?
Yeah, again, I find it really amusing to see, those of the Liberal Party jumping up and down. Oh, Labor's fucked up. Where were you guys at stockpiling that reserve as well? I mean, they've had their hand in this shit show as well. And at what point did both Liberal and Labor sell out all our industries, make us susceptible to this kind of dependency on a foreign market? As if COVID 1984, just 6 years ago, wasn't a stark reminder enough about how we should be a little bit more efficient and self-reliant as a country. Oh, we needed another reminder, do we? How many times is the Australian government going to ignore the most logical conclusion that we should be somewhat dependent on ourselves and not others? Especially with such capacity to do so.
I think it's all under the heading of net zero, isn't it?
It seems to be.
This famous net zero.
Net zero wealth, net zero property ownership, net zero capacity to do anything for yourself. That's what net zero really means, isn't it? Like you will have nothing and be happy is what net zero really means.
That's right. They're actually getting us used to 2030. Which is just around the corner. Just get used to having nothing and being happy about it. Wow. Gee, you've nailed it, Batty. But net zero.
Not bad for a piss pot.
Not bad for a piss pot, mate. Yeah, well, sips. Yeah, it's an ever bewildering mess as we look everywhere else around the world. Just look outside every day. It's getting worse and worse. Yep. But the Strait of Hormuz, we've got the most powerful military force in the world, supposedly, parked there, and yet they can't seem to stop these Iranians from hijacking or extorting all these cargo ships that want to go through that particular strait. The Iranians seem to be able to go up and say, well, it's going to cost you $2 million to get your ship through this piece of water, this bit of water estate. And yet the Yanks can't do anything about stopping that with all their technology. It's a mystery.
Yeah, it is.
It just seems something's not quite right. Something's crook and Talarook, and it's starting to get a bit obvious now.
Starting. Starting.
Well, it's been starting for last.
I was painfully obvious myself, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, but you always give them the benefit of the doubt.
I try.
You try to. Yeah, there's always.
I find it very trying to do so, though.
Very trying. Yeah. The sad state of affairs that the human race is in at the moment is bewildering, to say the least. Why would one get out of bed, other than the fact they have to pay for the extortion to put into their petrol tanks to go and get the stuff from the supermarket?
Oh, I guess again, when you're so free.
Yes.
You have those kind of options available to you when you're free, don't you?
Yes, apparently, yeah. Then what's the definition of free? I guess it comes from the same playbook as the definition of a sovereign citizen. It's what is free? Where do you go
Well,
to be
I
free?
always thought that we lived in a fee society. They forgot that the R was a necessary component of free, and it's just all about fees.
Well, that's maybe one of the 22 amendments they've just made. They've taken the letter R out of the word free.
I'd say so.
That's the Treasury Amendment. There it is, mate. It's gone from free to fee.
Yep, the fee trade agreements. You know, how many fees can we attach? Only for the public, not for the businesses, not for those who stand to make money, but only those who continuously pay and pay and pay again.
Oh, mate, it's just... And, of course, we've now got the Americans making a big leap from the Florida coast, trying to get to that big rock in the sky that circles us and causes our tides to go in and out.
Yeah, and they did it on April Fool's Day, as if you weren't supposed to see the joke.
Oh, wow, guys. And 2 minutes after that thing took off, there was an earthquake around in Indonesia, registering 7.4 on the Richter scale.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah.
But earthquakes are very prominent at the moment, along with volcanic activity.
That's right. And now they're promising with this latest moonshot, it's going to be one of up to 25 in the very near future. So this is
now, did they use carbon sensitive fuel?
Well, there you go. So much for net zero.
Exactly. Well, how many of us are not allowed to drive anymore? And is that the real cost of why the fuel costs have gone up? Because NASA needs to get to the moon again, and well, there's only so many carbon credits to get around.
Yeah, and what are they running? 98? Obviously running 98 octane.
Yeah, it's got to be high octane. It's got to be high octane. It's rocket fuel, right?
It is. So wow, it's it is. There's no keeping people in bed. It's keeping us fascinated by every movement they're making. We're going to the moon, then that's only a base to step to Mars. And
because the moon and the Mars they're just so close together,
They obviously must be. Yeah. It's just a stepping stone away, because that's Elon Musk's sort of fantasy, isn't it? He wants to get to Mars and colonize Mars for whatever reason. Like, we haven't screwed this planet up enough, so we'll find another one to screw up.
Well, there could be some amazing archaeological information there on how to fuck a planet. Well, they could fast forward their wonderful ability to fuck this planet with that kind of information at hand.
Yeah, and don't we just get overwhelmed with all the invitations from all of the other ETs out in the universe to invite us in and show us how to screw a planet up in such a short amount of time? Yeah. Yep, employ a narcissist and just let it all play out. And that's what we seem to have an abundance of, is these narcissists who decided to find it really comfortable to be in some sort of government position to dictate all of this bullshit that we go through every day. The mad worlds we're in. But, mate, Artemis. Well,
Artemis 2, I believe it was called.
Artemis 2.
I didn't know there was a 1.
Yeah, what happened to 1?
Yeah, it got me fucked. Like, I don't know. Maybe it blew up on the launch pad and they didn't want to tell anybody.
They didn't want to tell. There were actually images I saw of that that thing on the launch pad, and it looked like it was made of vinyl.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing actually. It was like, it looked kind of like they had some sort of a jacket around the fucking the jets or whatever you call them, and I thought, what have they got to insulate it for? They're worried it's going to get cold. Like, what the fuck?
No, it's to stop the stone chips from hitting. Oh,
yeah. That's obviously a huge problem with rockets.
They don't want to damage the paintwork.
Well, since we've gone there, I actually managed to grab a couple of little clips. Here's one from a bloke on the beach, and I thought it was a pretty good little video and an interesting perspective on it.
Anyway, there is the fireball in the sky. The show must go on. Never has there ever been a human on any of those rockets. To think so is kind of crazy. Anyway, there it goes up. Now it is starting to go over. And as it just moves outside, you'll see it start going down. Up, over, and down. Splash. It's a nice show. Been like a circus down here for the last hour or so.
Look at the arch.
Look at the trajectory. Same as a ballistic missile. Up, over, and down splash. Going nowhere since 1959. It's a beautiful day for the show. The science fiction show must go on. The sad thing is you got thousands of people out here all up and down the coast watching this. And after this launch is done, they're all going to disappear and go home. And then we're going to have a full moon rise out here. Everybody shows up to watch the fake. And they're going to miss the beauty of the real shortly after the full moon rise from April 1st, 2026. That's it. It is out of sight.
So I mean, that's one perspective. Now, like, and that arch, old mate does seem to, from that point of view, it certainly looks like okay, cool. It looks more like a ballistic missile as opposed to, you know, a launch. But then there's apparently this other shot here that's taken from somebody who just happens to be on an airplane and just happens to be going past and got a better shot.
Oh wow, look! Oh my god, look!
15 years of flying, folks, praying that I'd get to see something like this. You don't see this every day. They're going around the moon. I flew down to Florida. I don't know how many times, half a dozen times, to see that space shuttle take off in my day, and always canceled. And here, front row seats. This is something you want to tell your grandkids, you guys that are 3 years old.
So anyway, you get the general gist of it. It's interesting, different perspectives. Like, you know, you see in this one,
fades just out of sight right before it starts.
Well, I mean, look at that arc. Like that. So the other one must have been coming toward them, because that is just a completely different trajectory. That doesn't, you know, if you're going up into space, wouldn't you go fucking up? I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I mean, to me, the shortest distance between any two places is a straight line fundamentally. But that being said, they're also suggesting that apparently they're sort of doing a slingshot round the fucking Earth to use the gravitational pull to fly it off.
Yeah, but they still got to get out there first before they do that. That's the whole point. You get out to a certain point, you drop off those side tank things like the shuttle used to do, and then once you're out past the atmosphere, then you do the roundabout thing and slingshot and do whatever they reckon they're going to do. and then fly through this massive radiation belt that would kill everyone.
Good old Van Allen belt. But I mean, even the New York Times is struggling here because like fucking viewers slam smoke obscured footage of Artemis launch while the best view came from a plane, which I just showed you. Passengers $4 billion rocket with a $4 camera work was how they described the fucking professional shoot. And look, you know, doing professional shoots is somewhere in my field of expertise. I'm certainly not the greatest of camera operator in the world, but I've got a rough idea on how it works. You know, and capturing the subject matter is generally considered the most important part of the job. Yeah. But according to this, it seems that, you know, the viewers have blasted NASA live coverage of Artemis 2 rocket's historic launch on Wednesday evening, with many claiming that the camera essentially missed liftoff, with others declaring the best videos were shot from passing passenger planes. The footage was filmed yesterday evening as Artemis 2 successfully ferried 4 astronauts, apparently. I've seen other shots where, you know, the people are claiming, and actually you can kind of see it in this shot here, you know, that there's this strange anomaly here, which some people have suggested is like a cable car getting the fucking astronauts out of there before anything could potentially go wrong, you know. But anyway, Reed Weissman, Christian, the into Earth's orbit from Florida's thing, you know, 10-day, apparently a 10-day mission that involves circumnavigating the moon. If successful, this would mark our first lunar journey since Apollo 17. But that's not what the astronauts said. You know, they didn't say that it's the first since then. They've actually said it's the first.
Yeah.
And I got footage to prove it. It's not me that said it. It's these motherfuckers that said it. So, I mean, obviously there is a little bit of satirical additions to this, but you know, bear with it and let's have a look.
Christina, Jeremy, we're going to the moon. When we get off the planet, we might come right back home. We might spend 3 or 4 days around Earth. We might go to the moon. That's where we want to go, but it is a test mission.
The 45 minutes that we're closest to the lunar surface are also going to be out of contact. We are going to have an LOS, in NASA terms, a loss of signal. And while we cannot talk to the planet and our friends that are even in space on the International Space Station, I would love it if the entire world, those 8 billion people Jeremy mentioned, could come together and just, you know, be hoping and praying for us to get that acquisition of signal and be back in touch with everybody.
We might find nothing, but it's definitely worth looking. And now I'm totally bought in. And we're going to be like, I hope we don't make something up. When you see numbers like Mach 39 at entry, when you see numbers like 38,000 miles, 250,000 miles, 5-6 million pounds on the pad, those are just insane numbers. Like, those are just not numbers that humans generally think about.
Oh my God! Wow!
We were flying in a sim yesterday and watching the miles click down. What did we say we were doing? Like 5 or 7 miles?
7 miles a second.
Coming back to Earth. So these numbers just, you don't even comprehend. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon.
I didn't say it.
What did you say? And when I look at the future, when we talk about what is our legacy, I want to look 100 or 200 years in the future. This is where I thought this might land wrong. I hope we're forgotten.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
If we are forgotten, then Artemis has been successful. We have humans on Mars. We have humans out on the moons of Saturn. We are expanding in the solar system. We have... Maybe we've invented something that we never even dreamed of, and maybe we inspired some kids somewhere, and maybe that's our footnote. We inspired Susie or Johnny to do what they did. That would be magical.
There are stressful moments and there are fun moments. There's a lot of laughter. And when you laugh in space to the point where you cry, tears of joy, they just stick right in your eyeballs. And I always thought that was hilarious.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
I hope that's what we feel when we splash down on Artemis 2. And that will be a magical, I keep saying magical. That'll be a great moment.
Magic.
Gold.
And it's a wonderful piece, but yeah, the old mate himself said that'll be the first time.
Oh yeah, he did. Clearly said it.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, the conspiracy theorists, well, I mean, can you call them conspiracy theorists? It's just the people who just have no faith left. And how can we? From need another 7 astronauts to never a straight answer. What does NASA really represent? And I've seen other posts getting around. Well, they say T minus because, well, if we rearrange the letters and put the T in there, we got Satan. What are we dealing with here?
I think it's probably a cover up. Oh, gee, I don't know. You just don't believe anything that comes out of the USD. It's just one constant lie. Like, wow.
I don't prescribe to the flat earth thing, but a lot of the flat earth stuff seems to be getting a bit of a run at this particular point, but yeah, okay, we can obviously see that NASA is full of shit. That doesn't mean the planet's fucking flat, or doesn't mean it's round. But one thing is for sure, NASA is full of shit. And you can't fucking trust anything. They're a government agency, and anything attached to the government should be questioned intensely.
Intensely, absolutely. And that's what we're sort of the mantra of what I've been trying to do for 25 years is intensely look at everything these bullshit artists continually pour out of their gobs and try and get the rest of us to believe it. I mean, even as a kid, I remember watching the moon landing, or the so-called moon landing thing, and the first question was, well, gee, who's holding the camera?
I was impressed by this New York Post article for that very reason. They actually said, but the cameraman didn't capture the shit, right? Like, people are actually asking that question now, and I've said it in, mainstream circles, where, like the one thing I learned from the moon landing is nobody ever thinks about the cameraman. And even the most mainstream fuckwit will go, hey, that's pretty good. I'm like, of course it is, because it's just controversial enough to get you thinking, but it's just true enough to also keep you thinking. So which one's real?
10 years old, and I'm looking at it going, yeah, well, who's holding the camera if he's the first man on the moon?
Well, according to my grandfather, they were down at St. Kilda Beach filming that.
Yeah.
I've seen shots of the Arizona desert that look a lot like the moon as well. So.
Yes. Yeah, there's plenty of places to be able to mock that sort of, even the shots we're getting of Mars. There are also a lot of areas around the planet that mimic that very well too.
There's a lot of places we haven't been to that can easily be the backdrop for a foreign fucking planet.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is the planet of bullshit, isn't it? Where bullshit thrives. And here it is. This good old planet Earth.
When the truth is stamped out like a fucking rogue fire, and fucking absolute bullshit is fanned along into the combustion engine.
Yes. Yeah. Well, logic and common sense went at the same time. So the whole lot of them were evicted, and the bullshit artists took over, and they reigned supreme. And boy, don't we know it. But it's just this constant stream of BS that comes out of that black box and onto our screens in any way, shape, form, even the ones we hold in our hands. So we go, wow, is there going to be a break? Does truth eventually come back on a white horse and say, no, we're here to conquer all? Oh, it's a mad world, mate.
Well, if the truth is going anywhere near a white horse, I believe Death was riding one.
Yeah, that's what they reckon. That's what they reckon.
Or otherwise known as Mort, or Binky if you're into the Discworld stuff, right? Death rides a white horse called Binky.
Ah, right.
Very
And of course-
entertaining.
And then we got that other theory through the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and what's the prime number? It's 42, and the whole place is run by white rabbits.
Mm.
The universe.
Was it rabbits in the book? I know it was mice in the movie. I never got a chance
Oh,
to
it
read
could have been, yeah. I've seen both. I've read the book and I have actually seen the movie. I was quite impressed with the movie, actually.
I thought the movie was good. I do intend to read the book one day. It's on my list, very long list of things to do. I have a feeling I'm not going to get to tick all the boxes, but I'll do the best I can.
Oh, it's a good book, and it's not a big book either. It's only a short story.
Yeah, nice.
But it's good. Arthur Dent and the Adventures of Arthur Dent. Very good. And it's one of the better sci-fis out there anyway.
Oh, for sure. It's got that British vibe to it. That's what makes it, you know.
Definitely.
It's not full of complete slapstick stupidity, you know.
Like Red Dwarf, yeah.
Yeah, Red Dwarf's brilliant. Fucking, you know, again, on a relatively small budget, they managed to achieve quite a lot.
Oh, it was brilliant, actually. For a close to midnight sort of stint to watch Red Dwarf was great, especially on a Saturday night.
And that's the thing these young whippersnappers don't understand, that dedication to watching a TV show at stupid o'clock at night because all the good stuff was on at stupid o'clock.
Yeah.
You're going to wait for the fucking footy show and all this other pointless shit to get out the road before we can actually watch something of some sort of substance.
That's right. And of course, one of the only good sci-fis I remember watching was not Babylon. It was the Australian sci-fi. Farscape.
Yes, that was awesome.
Yes,
I've acquired it in Blu-ray quality at the moment. So it's
I've got the book
box set worth buying.
Yeah, I've got the big box set. Yeah, the Blu-ray box set. Absolute brilliant. Love it.
Oh, yeah. And I love the blending of the Jim Henson Muppetry. I like the fact that, you know, we can get away with using aliens because we've got Australian and New Zealand actors, and they just sound foreign to all Americans because they're in their own pocket universe. So it was really easy. And of course, and it has that same Australian kind of dark Mad Max kind of vibe to it as well, you know, which gives it a very haunting reality.
Very much so. And the storyline, just as good as any of the other sci-fis, but had you captivated. The mad evil guy, he was just, I mean, there was evil incarnated. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. And the ship was half alive.
Yeah. The Leviathan, which is a Jewish word for monster, as I understand.
Yeah. Brilliant. Like really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the idea of the biomechanoid, and you know, again the control collar that needed to be put onto the Leviathan in itself.
Yes.
The way they, you know, just brutally take nature and turn it into a weapon. It's
so true though.
And again, Scorpius is a brilliant character, a hybrid between two fucking, you know, races. Not liked by anyone, so he just hates everyone.
Yeah, the Mr. Smith of the sci-fi world, Dr. Smith from Lost in Space. It was him sort of personified in that weird outfit that he had on. That was a brilliant show. Loved it. Yeah. Yes, it's that sort of series I grabbed as soon as I could, and occasionally when, you know, it's holidays and there's rain pouring, I'll get out Farscape and watch a couple of episodes of that. That's just, it's engulfing. Highly recommended for our listeners.
I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not sat down and watched Farscape, you should. And even more so, like the fact that it got canned at season 4, right in the middle of a fucking storyline.
Yeah.
And there was such backlash that they went and made a 3-hour fucking movie to tie
that's right, to finalize it. Him coming back home.
So that's people power again, you know, like the big studios have decided that it's not worth the effort. And just like Star Trek, you know, way back in the day had the same fucking thing. It got, no, nobody's interested in this sci-fi psycho babble crap. We're not interested. But there was a huge, unfortunately with Star Trek, it took fucking like 20 fucking years or something to reboot it. But they finally got back to getting that going.
Yeah. And
Sadly,
you've even
it's turned into a woke nightmare now. But in its day, it was brilliant. You know, it broke the right boundaries for the right reasons, and now it's gone completely in the wrong direction. But that is, so I think the other great sci-fi fucking TV series is Babylon 5, and I remember watching that during COVID 1984 for probably the third or fourth time in my life, thinking, "Holy fuck, this is prophetic." You know, the way the media is hijacked, you know, like the dark shadow creatures, the search for understanding from more advanced races, you know, like you just look at it and go, fuck me, brilliant. And to find out that Babylon 5, like the people who actually created that story, pitched that to the Star Trek crew. And they said, oh, no, we're not really interested. See you later. Then went and created Deep Space Nine. Basically stole their idea and fucking went and did it in their own way, which I think is probably still the best Star Trek episode run as well, which was Deep Space Nine. You know, like the concepts that they dealt with there were absolutely brilliant. But Babylon 5 was far superior.
Yeah, but I'll give it to Star Trek where you got the shoot-offs like Deep Space Nine, you got Voyager and New Generation. New Generation seemed to have a bit more of a cult following because it went for far longer than the original Star Trek.
Yeah, it ran 7 seasons.
And then they took, only recently in the last couple of years, they've taken the captain from New Generation and just created another series out of that.
Yeah.
Which is also very good. And they sort of brought in a few of the older from the other, you know, like Voyager, they got 7 of 9 and brought her into it. So it's.
I was just disappointed they had to turn her into a rug muncher.
Well, yeah, but it's like, isn't that the same with all of the shows lately when they reboot? There's got to be some sort of gay angle to the whole thing.
Fucking shit. I can't do it. I'm in. I'm cool. I love this story, and then all of a sudden,
it's just gone to hell.
Off, done. Can't do it further.
Yeah, well,
as soon as I see the woke agenda, I'm gone.
It's just pathetic, isn't it? Yeah. But this is the way that the writers are meant to go today, because we're in this new Sodom and Gomorrah sort of attitude. And
yeah, a lot of me going on.
It's insane. Like, what a world we're in now. God Lord, we're going to the moon again. Okay, so yeah, we're bringing on World War III in Middle East. She doesn't have to make you feel more comfortable, people. You know, we're all here to make you feel safe and bring about good government. Yeah, we're doing all the right thing by you. You know, yeah, we've been looking after you this particular decade. Don't forget they started off this decade with the COVID. They said, look forward to 10 years of this. Well, here we are. We're just over halfway. And isn't it interesting?
It's taken a few years to reboot the concept, but instead of viral lockdowns, we're going to go with energy lockdowns, which I mean, again, it's just so everything's just so fucking obvious. Like, you know, sadly, you know, the whole Desi Freeman thing, everybody knew he was going to get shot, and that's exactly what fucking happened. Like, I mean, we should all be labeled prophets at this point, you know, because we just keep calling it time and time again, you know. Like, as soon as COVID ended, I turned to people and I said, look, the food will be next. I didn't predict the fuel part, but, you know, fuel is now linked to the food because, well, we can't get the food anywhere. Oh, the farmers can't do anything. What a way to shut the food down, you know? And, of course, here we are on the ritualistic, you know, day of Good Friday where we dictate what you can eat. You know, fish and chip shops love it. They're the only ones that operate. because that's what you're allowed to eat, as if, thou shalt not eat pig, what wasn't enough of a control system. Every religion has a control of what you can eat and when you can eat and how you can eat it. Nothing says freedom quite like it. But,
mate, it's a it's a very strange situation. Who would have guessed that we'd be in where we are today? And I think what they've got
all
in
the
mind,
conspiracy theorists, apparently.
Oh, apparently, yeah. But we're in this Mad Max world now. It's all Mad Max.
And again, what better way to sell electric vehicles? And why do we need to sell electric vehicles? Because they've got little shutdown chips in them. And actually, I think I found a video on that too. I'll see if I can.
But we can actually look forward to 100 different brands of motor vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Here in Australia.
That's like fucking, trying to sell me a new bag of chips or a new brand of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but 100. And at the moment, we have 22.
Can I have the one that doesn't cost a fucking fortune and does what it's supposed to?
Well, that's a bit awkward. No, we don't want to do that.
Probably a bit much to ask.
No, we don't want to do that. No, we've got to look forward to all these different brands to choose from. That way we don't get our heads around any sort of concept of reintroducing any sort of manufacturing here relating to building a motor car. No, that's out the door. Yeah. Totally. We've got to look forward to bringing all these brands in from every Tom, Dick and Harrier in the world there who's trying to get some sort of dollar from the government for producing a net zero motor vehicle. So net zero, that's the mantra, and everything's got to be revolving around net zero. Yes.
So obviously this is where net zero is supposed to lead. Here's a little video I found today that kind of sums it up.
But you don't have to be one to think that this is insane.
Right now in law that's going to be implemented it says for 2026, that states that every vehicle manufactured is going to have a kill switch in it. The car itself will monitor your driving. And if the car thinks that you're not doing a good job driving, it will disable itself.
This is not a rumor. This was voted into federal law as part of a larger bill, and now the vehicle technology will be rolled out that can disable your car under certain conditions. Of course, they're selling it as for your safety, but once the infrastructure of being able to disable your car remotely finally exists, the definition of for your safety can change. Today it's dangerous driving, tomorrow it's you're over your carbon limit and you need to stay home indefinitely. It's always for your safety first and then total control later. But I don't know, I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Let me know what you think.
Glad she finally took a drink out of that giant cup of, I'm guessing, milk. I'd like to think it's Kahlua, but maybe eggnog or something to that effect. I'm not sure, but she managed to maintain the consistency. Like, because if that had been me, the drink would have been up and down like this the whole way through.
Yeah.
All the edit points.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's just so obvious. But there's a couple of user questions here I'll get to. Heidi wants to know, is it cold down there, Darryl?
Yeah, it's 12 degrees.
That's fucking cold.
Yep, that's cold.
That only happens maybe 2 or 3 times up this way in a year, and that's not for months to come.
Well, that's every night.
Andrew, sorry, say again?
That's every night here.
Yeah, another reason why I left. So why do these rockets appear to travel in an arc instead of straight up? What are they hiding? Well, I guess
that's anyone's guess.
Question.
Yeah, I've heard the firmament argument come up. Sort of going, yeah, well, it's going in an arc because it can't penetrate the firmament. Well, yeah, I don't know. Haven't been up that high.
On the let's go with what they say sort of thing is that, well, they got to run around and then slingshot out, so they're not going straight up fighting gravity the whole way. They're trying to use the gravitational pull to slingshot off. That's my fundamental understanding. How much truth is in that, fuck knows. But anyway,
But then we gotta
Heidi
look at
says she's going to read the book for me, which is very nice of her. Yeah, I guess we'll have to get you around. I'll sit down and we'll all sit around like little kids, although sitting on the floor is a bit hard for me. I find I got about 10 or 15 minutes before my legs go numb or a shooting pain hits me. But I appreciate the effort, Heidi. Much appreciated that you're willing to do that. That's what friends are for. Rex wants me to ask you, Darryl, what are ensign flags used for?
Usually the defense forces, the Navy in particular. So the Navy fly the ensign flag at particular times. I know that because my old man was in the Navy.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't there a difference though between the naval flag and the red ensign, which was once the land-based?
Well, it's supposedly not at war. So in times of peace.
Yeah, right. That happens.
Yeah. We've been in constant war for over 100 years. So, yeah.
Certainly.
No, the red ensign is there's also a difference in the amount of points in the star too, the biggest star on the flag. But realistically, that's just a matter of what we call form. It's not really of any great significance. There's through the David Windmiller stuff, there's the gold fringe flag too. That's also shows you that we're in military jurisdiction. But the most obvious is not the flags or any of that stuff. It's the mere fact that you have a postcode. If you're in an area that has a postcode, you're in a military zone and it's a war zone.
Wow, that makes the whole fucking country in a war zone, doesn't it?
Yep. Well, that's all over. And this all came out in a U.S. Supreme Court case back in the 1960s. So they actually pointed out that you're in a war zone when there's a postcode, and the other thing that is the marker for that is the fact that you don't have access to any gold or silver-backed currency.
Yeah, we certainly don't have that.
That's it, and it's called military scrip. That's what they issue when you're in a war zone. So that makes a lot of sense.
Fucking oath it does.
Sort of ticks the box. Yep, we're all in a war zone. We have World War II never really ended.
So we're all operating with war bonds.
Yeah. Yep.
It never ended.
Never-ending wars.
Hey, this is a good gig we got here. Let's make sure the war never ends, because we might actually have to fucking repatriate this fraud.
Yep. And that's why they're spending lots of this military script. It matters nothing to them because it's just a book entry. That's all it is. It's all just a book entry, guys. And they charge whatever interest they like. But this brings us to what we're up to with the High Court stuff. And we're looking for people to jump on board for a challenge to the existence here in Australia of the Reserve Bank.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when you go through the legislation, it doesn't really have any ties to Australia in the act.
Not surprised. Let's go for a quick break if we could. I've got a little song here. One of the film clips I worked on a long time ago, which I cameoed in. There was a scene to open this particular film clip, and I'm like, right, guys, so who do you want to act out this part? And oh yeah, we know someone. I'm all right, cool. So who is it? You. I'm like, you fucking what? You want me to be in two places at once? All right, we'll see what we can do. So here I am being in two places at once, cameoing in my own fucking production, I suppose, for a good friend's band that we used to gig with back in the day. It might be a bit heavy for some of you, but it'll help me pass some water. So I'll see you guys in about 4.5 minutes. Greed. This is what our government has become. Are we going to stand for this? No! What are we going to do about it?
Get up and make a change. Steer off desolation. Warriors domain. Society falling. Skies dying, poison dead. Collapsing feeling. Get up and make a change. Feeding children. Wake up and make a change. Drop in the brutal way. Get up and make a change. Our method untouchable. Get up and make a change. Drop in the brutal way. Our method untouchable. Wake up, the pendulum swings. Hole in your sky. Hole in your heart. Hypocrisy. Blinded, oh can you see veracity? Torn by greed. Hypocrisy. Blinded, can you see? Can you see? Our method untouchable. Get up and make a change. Drop in the brutal way. Our method untouchable. Hold in your sky. Hold in your heart. Hypocrisy. Blinded, oh can you see veracity? Torn by greed. Hypocrisy. Blinded, can you see? How can you say? Society. How can you say? Society. Get up and make a change. Society follow.
Yeah, I'll get there eventually. So there you go. There's the old Encrypt Society fallen. Why is this not doing what I want it to fucking do? It's still not doing it. There we go. That'll work. Got there. Find the right button. So yeah, I could see not everybody enjoyed this track. I know the music's a bit rough, but hey, I enjoyed making that film clip. It was a lot of fun, you know, and all the special effects and the burning fucking buildings and shit. Yeah, they weren't burning when I filmed them.
Oh well.
But they were by the time I was done fucking with them. But anyway, let's get back to what you were saying. You're looking for people to step up to the plate and have a go at the banking cartel, which conveniently put itself into place roughly with bills in the 1913 sort of range, conveniently right before a war just happened to start by some, fluke of nature, perhaps,
Yeah, it went from the Commonwealth Bank in 1911, 1908, sort of 1911. They started making changes to the Commonwealth Bank, and then and mainly they were restricting bills of exchange. Then it sort of floated along until about 1930, 1933. They started making a few more changes.
And that's when I believe Woodrow in America had a few issues where he's gone, oh, shit, now I realize what I fucking done kind of moments.
Yeah.
Obviously deceived and conned into it. And then, fuck, I didn't read the fine print. And I understand it.
Yep. And the place went bankrupt. So the de jure US stepped out the door, and they were now setting us up here in Australia to follow suit. Only over a slightly longer timeline, and it took them until 1959 to bring in the Act.
Yeah.
But the Commonwealth Bank was still there, sort of thing, but not in the same sort of capacity. And
far from being common.
Far from being common. But they still had the veterans loans.
Rightio.
Yeah, so that lasted until the end of the Vietnam War, and then they started making more changes, and that was the Labor government. That was Whitlam's effort then to start to rape and pillage, and and through
Labor.
Yep, strangely enough, that Labor government again, and then they made more changes to the whole. Especially consolidated revenue, and they thought, hang on, we can't tolerate this Commonwealth system. Let's gut it completely and start all over again, or make some sort of attempt to do that. And by then, the Reserve Bank was running amok with its military scrip, which they had approved in the decimal change in 1966.
So moving from the old imperial currency of pounds and shillings and whatnot into the current form we have today. And the old man, not exactly the most learned individual as far as, paper world goes, but even he made the fundamental distinction that 6 pence suddenly become 5 cents. So for every 6 cents we lost a cent, that's a lot of money we got jagged back then. And then we've just seen the decay of the value of money at a rate that the world has never seen.
Yes, and I mean, if one had an old £1 note, it would be written on the note that this could be exchanged for gold.
And also under the Commonwealth of Australia, as opposed to Australia.
Yes, and of course, the Commonwealth of Australia, the Labor Party didn't want that because they wanted this socialist system to take over. And of course, they found it very convenient to be part of this whole war machine business and the postcode business and the whole military script. So they were right in full swing there. There haven't been a problem with the Poms, but the Poms were pushing their way towards the EU. So by 1972, they'd voted themselves out of the British Empire and into the EU. So they then became a state. And that's when good old Queen Elizabeth became a sovereign citizen. She was a
sovereign left.
Yeah, and she was the first one to put that label on her forehead. Yeah, I'm a sovereign citizen now. I'm the queen of a constitutional monarchy, or a monarchy, not a constitutional monarchy. because we are a constitutional monarchy. The Britons aren't, because they don't have a constitution. But she then became a citizen of the EU, and Britain and Ireland became a state of the EU. So that was a big change, and they thought, oh, it's all for free trade. Don't we hear that too much?
Is this
Free
where we
trade.
get the IRA sort of step into history?
Well, the IRA was sick and tired of the Poms, of course, so they'd had a gutful. And the Poms were no angels.
Fuck no.
They were atrocious what they were doing to the Irish.
But they learned from the best. You go through the history and the amount of times they've been railroaded by French, Spanish, Vikings, Germans. Like, fuck, if you were to look at the way we treat, say, our understanding of the Aboriginal culture is like, well, this is a wonderful earthbound fucking, spiritual sort of entity. One might say the Druids of the old island were much the same, but they got an extermination a lot earlier.
Yes.
Much like most earthbound spiritual concepts have been overrun by, empires. And in particular, the Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire really has not backed off. No.
It's just changed its coat. It put
now,
on the
now wears a crucifix.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, instead of an emperor, it was a pope. Yeah. And that was Constantine that did all of that, and they controlled the world through religion. And you only have to look
hijacking Christianity and turning it into Catholicism, as I understand it.
Yeah, but you really only have to look as far as the Pope's great audience hall to see who they have an allegiance to as a religious group, right? And they're the biggest. They're seen as the center of Christianity on the planet. So when you see the image of that Pope's great audience hall and the stage, the way they set the stage up, and that was built in 1978, and you sort of go, wow. So there's Deception 101 and the control they've had of, well, they had pretty much complete control over England up until King Henry VIII, who decided to pull the pin on them. And funnily enough, just today, King Charles announced that there is no Easter speech.
Yep. If anyone was going to do it, it was going to be him.
It was going to be him. It's the curse of the name Charles. Every King Charles has been an absolute rogue. Only this one, at least, is now openly saying, without, you don't have to be a genius to figure out he's Islamic.
Wow. I don't know that I would say Islamic. I was going to go with Luciferian, satanic, I mean, some might put Islam into the same category,
Yeah, well, there's strong argument to back that one up, that Allah is just another name for Lucifer. So, yeah, it's very interesting how all the religions are sort of starting to focus in one area.
I honestly don't think it seems to matter what you call it. When it's a system of control, it is not a force for good.
Not at all. Far from it. So, very interesting world. We're all heading towards this religious belief. In fact, it was Trump, I think, that said just a couple of weeks ago, he said, this is the Armageddon. This is the biblical Armageddon. And so these people are pushing this narrative fairly hard and strong. because they reckon that's the way everything should be going. But I don't know. I think this. I think they're orchestrating this quite deliberately, and it's not working out so well for them, actually.
Well, it's an interesting concept because I come across this video and I don't know exactly what to make of it. Give me a second to draw it up, but it's fundamentally going on about, well, Trump looks like a complete fucking idiot at this particular point. You know, he's gone in and he's picked a fight that he can't fucking win. And the fundamental, you know, easy solution to look at things to go, well, he's either a complete fucking idiot and has no idea what the fuck he's just done, or he was fed a bunch of bullshit from, you know, the 6 star mob.
Mm.
You know,
So.
and that seems like a really simple, straightforward scenario. But what if we think a little bit deeper? What if he actually did really know what was going on and he's playing a fucking bigger game? I don't fucking know. But
do we credit him with that much?
Sorry, you wouldn't even give him that much?
Don't know. It seems like he just seems to be a puppet on an Epstein set of strings manipulated by Netanyahu. Just seems that way, you know, like Israel want this biblical fulfillment of their ability to be the chosen people, the chosen race, and this is how they're going about it. Just seems that's the way. And Trumpy boy, he's got some skeletons in that closet that's, they reckon's now slung open and it's all there for everyone to see. You sort of go, okay, well, fine, no worries. So any resistance or anyone that might even look like being a sort of decent leader in the US, the most powerful country in the world, they've eliminated them. And that could, you know, from my observation, would have been Charlie Kirk. And what's happened just recently about Charlie Kirk? Well, gee, the whole rhetoric was built around this individual who's admitted to being the assassin, and the gun that he used was found nearby, and now the bullet doesn't match the gun. Gee, you know, in the world, that's sort of.
We all know it was lapel mic. Like that's a stunning feat of engineering to turn a lapel mic into a fucking weapon. But hey, they turned pages into a weapon and they openly admitted it. So at what point do we stop fantasizing about the capacity to kill people when that is the fundamental principle of control, is the ability to invoke fear and let you know that you're not safe anywhere and that nothing around you is safe.
That's right.
Fear, fear, fear. And again, go back to the Bible, as I've pointed out so many times recently. Go have a look at Mara Biglini's stuff if you haven't. But it's available on my Telegram. For those who haven't heard it before, go and have a look, and you have a look at the way Yahweh acted and the way he controlled with fear, and you start to see that nothing has changed in thousands of fucking years. We continuously go through the same fucking shit over and over again based on what the human race was allegedly taught by God knows fucking what, if there is even such an entity. Some entity, some being claiming to be Yahweh, and not the only one of the, again, beings known as the Elohim and the El and various other things, whether they come from another planet, whether they come from another stage of evolution prior to humanity, whether they live under the ocean, whether they live in little mountains in fucking the Himalayas somewhere. I don't know. Hitler was looking for the fucking Aryan race in India and Tibet and shit. Go fucking figure. let's really start to have a good think about the things that we have been told and the distortions of reality that don't make any fucking sense. But to me, so it shall be written, so it shall be done. We've seen it written. We've seen how to control. We've seen it's done through fear. Worship me or else.
Yeah.
And here's fucking our ridiculous, pathetic attempts to worship me or I'll use fear. Elbow. My God. Fucking hell. Any wonder they're hiring more security for MPs. You guys are weak as piss and you're not convincing anybody. The fact that a politician hasn't been murdered in this country yet is still an astounding feat, by my, and it just shows how peaceful we as people are. I'm not condoning violence, and I'm not saying somebody should go out and attack them. I'm just astounded that nobody's done it.
But things act differently down here. The water goes a different way, down the drain.
Yeah, I've seen it on The Simpsons.
It's a different place. We're more passive. We tend to, sit back and go, "She'll be right, mate.
Yeah,
she'll be right. Everything's fine. Just let it ride out. That's all good. Don't worry about it too much and have another beer."
Yeah,
that's essentially, and put another steak on the barbie. It's.
The problem is the beer and the steak is now beyond the average means.
Yeah.
So that she'll be right. It's getting a bit harder and harder to digest because there's nothing on my plate and there's nothing in my glass.
Yeah, and the petrol tank's empty. Or
exactly.
I've just had to mortgage the house to put fuel in the car.
Mm.
For whatever reason, we're not quite sure yet. We're still trying to figure that one out. But it's okay to send a big rocket to the moon and burn up lots of fuel. It's just,
Yeah, go figure. Or blow up oil fields and
Hey, yeah, why not?
Detonate munitions all over the fucking place. And if things get really bad, let's bring out the nuclear weapons. I mean, come on. The military industrial complex is the biggest polluter on the face of the fucking earth, but my car and a plastic straw is the problem.
Yeah, totally. We've got to get rid of plastic straws and make sure that we're all sucking out of a paper one.
Oh no. I mean, we need to get them carbon credits up so we can get to the moon again.
Totally. Because there's obviously something there in the moon that fascinates us enough to do all of this. I've got a telescope and it's not that powerful, but I don't see anything really special on the moon to warrant wanting to go there. Really, it seems a bit beyond me as to why they want to put so much effort into going there. But I guess there's got to be something there to I don't know, get something. They threw something at it pretty hard apparently many years ago, and it rang like a bell. They reckon.
Dropped a bomb, I believe it was.
Yeah. I mean, the moon itself is an odd sort of thing anyway.
Well, like most things, it doesn't seem to conform to the realm of physics, but then again, neither does a bumblebee.
That's true.
So, I mean,
bumblebee defies
there's clearly
physics.
something fucking wrong with their ability to conjure up how physics works. A bumblebee shouldn't exist according to our model, but it fucking does. Maybe your model's fucked.
Maybe, although this takes us down another rabbit hole. And have you seen the stuff about the guy who looked into the laser? Well, it's not a good idea to look into a laser. So no one ever looked into a laser.
Did you see anything at all after that?
Well, that's predominantly it. But if you look into this guy set up this thing where he shone a laser across a wall. So you just got this light, right? Going across, it's this beam of light. And he took some DMT.
As you do.
As you do. Pop down to the milk bar and grab a stash of DMT. And he looked into it and he saw something very similar to what we see on the advertising material for a movie called The Matrix.
Code.
He was looking at code and he thought, hang on, something's not right here. no, maybe this DMT trip is just a little bit too heavy. So he did it again, and there it was again. It was no different. He thought, hang on. So he told a couple of his mates, and they then did the same thing, and they gone, yeah, I can see that too. It's all, yep. He did it with 1,000 people over a period of time. They all saw the same thing. And then they analysed it a bit deeper, and they found it was Sanskrit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was Sanskrit. And when you ran your hand through the light, it changed the code.
Rightio.
Changed it. So the language changed.
To?
It's still Sanskrit, but it was saying a different thing.
Right.
As soon as you put your hand through the light. And there's now in-depth study into this.
Well, that's one I'm going to have to deep dive into. That's a new one.
Yeah, if you go to
I am
David,
aware of the realm of DMT and the weird shit that one can find. You know, I found some fucking weird shit with some different forms of manipulation, so to speak.
Yeah. And the DMT, where the body produces DMT.
Yeah.
It comes out of the pineal gland.
And predominantly at birth and death, as I understand it.
Yeah, but it's there. The body does produce DMT. So all that you're doing when you take DMT through the, I guess people smoke it, it just adds that bit extra, and you're in this other sort of like a
chemical imbalance.
A chemical imbalance. That's it. And you're able to then see things, and it's like the ayahuasca. Yeah. So ayahuasca is actually used as a treatment for certain psychosis, people mental illnesses and the like, and they're coming back.
Same for magic mushrooms, and I mean, obviously, LSD was predominantly experimented on as a psychoactive for the method of control. And although it does have that, I also believe it has a stunning ability to break programming.
Yes. And in fact, they found in the early 1950s, the health industry was reporting that both acid and psilocybin were very good for treating so-called mental illnesses very effectively. And then,
which they obviously don't want, because the majority of the human race is suffering from a mental illness in the sense that they believe government will actually help them.
Yeah, and in fact, it was in the late 1960s, early 1970s that the US then banned it. They put a ban on it because too many people were
the programming.
Yeah, they were protesting against the Vietnam War and saying, "Why are we in this war?" So the trust had fallen away with the government. The government went, "Oh shit, what's caused this? Oh, they're all taking trips. Right, let's ban the trips."
Yep, quick, stop it. All those years we spent indoctrinating them in their socialist indoctrination centers, they've broken the programming with just one trip. They didn't even have to go to Mars.
No, nowadays you can go to Mars or Jupiter or anywhere you like. Just take a magic mushy. So,
wow,
but fascinating stuff.
You don't really need to do that if you know how to meditate properly, but that's another story.
It is, and meditation is a valid form of really seeing the truth of what this world's made up of. But yeah, there is an interview with it. There's been a book written now about the laser and looking into the laser. There is now scientific studies going on quite intensely on this. I saw the presentation of this through a podcaster, Davy Jones podcast. in the US. He interviewed the author of the book, and it's quite intense what he went through. And he said, like, wow, what are we actually looking at? It's caused everyone that's experienced this to sort of go, wow, where are we? And then you go and you look at CERN, CERN, on the Swiss-France border in Europe, and what that actually is. So what are they actually doing there? It's a massive 27-mile electromagnet, and it's very deep underground. Particle accelerator, and there are particle accelerators all over the world. There's a smaller one in the US. We've even got one here in Australia, not a big one, of course, but these particle accelerators, the excuse is, we want to see what is inside the atom of a particular particle.
Research for the God particle, I believe, was one of them. And after 10 years of study and the search for a said particle, it was only when they go on, much like me trying to find something in the house that I couldn't find. Right, fuck yeah, I give up. Oh, there it is.
That's right. It's right in their face the whole time. But that has been, funnily enough, every time they wind that thing at CERN up to a certain power level, it has an instant effect. A sunspot occurs on our sun. Instant. So they wound it up to a very high power level when they first started CERN up, and they reckon that actually caused the destruction of this or that particular dimension that we were in, and things changed. And this is where the Mandela effect stories started coming out, and it was based around CERN, and it caused. They reckon it's also had a massive effect on the Earth's north pole. It's the electromagnetic that the Earth has, which makes a lot of sense.
Certainly does.
You sort of go, hang on, what are you people doing? It's not enough that they manipulate our weather, they poison our air, they poison our water. Now let's screw around with the actual dimension that we're in.
And it's like children playing with matches in a haystack. Like, we just want to see. We just wanted to know what would happen. I didn't mean to burn the fucking world down. Like,
or it's like a baby playing with razor blades. It's not going to be good. Not a good outcome.
And it certainly makes you wonder, if we're going to come back to that biblical fucking or even extraterrestrial concept that, we've got to get back. We've manipulated and fucked with this place too much. Let's get back and let the kids figure out the playground for themselves, So the primary school is now being run by the students. The teachers have left. Based on what we've come to understand.
That's right.
What was the method to the madness here? You've left them with all the, apparently, Tower of Babel, fuck with the communication. Let's pull out certain realms of technology, but they've left shit behind all over the place for everybody to find and discover. Even tales of, finding certain entities still left in some form of a stasis chamber, and it took them a long time to figure it out, but they managed to open it up. And then you have a look at, say, the Aliens franchise, where they go off to the other planet and they go and find their fucking maker, and the maker's just like, fuck off, we don't want a bar of you, sort of thing. And as soon as I seen that, it just reminded me of all the other tales I'd heard of, we found the sleeping giants, and as soon as they woke them up, they're like, nah, get the fuck out, we don't want to bar you, we're out of here. And all these years of worshipping this shit only to find they don't want a bar of you, it's left them in a whole different state of fucking what the fuck.
Yes. I mean, look at the Mayans. They were deemed to have disappeared. Totally disappeared, the whole race.
Yeah, well, not to mention Incas, Olmecs, all those South American allegedly advanced cultures gone. All that was left was the Aztecs by the time the Spanish come across. And what the fuck were they doing? Carving people up, cutting hearts out, fucking human sacrifice, the most satanic, evil shit you've ever seen. Actually, I'm surprised the Spanish Catholic Church wasn't fucking on board with it. You know, like after what they were doing during the Inquisition, I couldn't see much of a difference myself. But that's again, of course, you know, assuming the history books told us any form of truth.
Well, that's and that's where we come to this. You know, we've only been here for such a short time. We don't know, and
we're still wondering what the fuck happened 50 years ago.
Yeah, because you're a conspiracy theorist if you come anywhere near the truth. We don't want that. We just want you to believe what we're telling you. And who are you? Well, we're the biggest bunch of liars, thieves, and murderers that have been put on the face of the planet. We're here to control you. Isn't that fun? And we very quickly find out that, if you don't do what they say, then they can make your life very hard. But that can't just last forever, can it? Surely not. Or has there got to be some sort of reckoning? There has to be a reckoning. There's got to be a brick wall that we're going to stop, where the deceivers and the liars actually stop. Just go, oh, well.
Oh, it's only through overwhelming fucking numbers against them is that going to happen. And can't help but feel that that's what they're fearing the most at the moment.
Well, people are waking up. People are waking up, but not quick enough.
No.
And if you do wake up too quick, then we'll ship you off to a war we've started over in the Middle East.
Yeah, wow. Well, what better way to deal with all the conspiracy theorists than to have psychoanalyzed them all, dotted all their names and numbers into a journal and gone, well, conscription's back.
Yep.
Who's the first to go?
I was looking at the Act. I think we were doing this about a year ago on the radio show, and you go to the particular section that gives you the out clause for conscription. And I can't remember the number of the Act, but it's in the Defence Forces Act. And it says that a conscientious objector can actually bypass being conscripted. And then when you go to the bottom of the Act, it actually says on the same page within the same section that conscientious objections don't work. So in the first part of the section, it says that you can use that as an excuse to not go. And then you go to the bottom of the page and it says, no, that doesn't work. So there's a contradiction in the very section.
Fundamentally, it's a step forward, son, onto the carpet. This carpet says you have a choice. Yep, no worries. What's your choice? I don't want to play. No worries. Trap door opens and off into the sewage chute you go.
Yep, off you go. Enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. Isn't that just wonderful? What a shit show.
Fucking oath. Let's have a look at some more of these comments that people are throwing through. Alicia J says, can you ask Darryl, was the blue flag and red flag designed in 1901, 1905 / both of them?
Oh, the blue flag wasn't brought in until I think it was 1920. It was after World War One, pretty sure. The red flag's been there since Federation. So, and of course, I saw a flag design the other day where it was a combination of the Aboriginal flag and the Australian flag, only without the Union Jack. So
they put the Aboriginal flag in place of the Union Jack.
Yeah. So you had the stars, and there was just no Union Jack, and it was more of a black background. Just make the stars stand out a bit more with the red and orange sort of blended into it. Sort of looked okay, I guess, if you're into flags. But it's the red ensign was the first, and then of course you've got the flag the good old Southern Cross flag that existed in the gold era prior to Federation, where the guys were sort of trying to bring about independence. Didn't work out so well, because unfortunately we'd been colonised by a bunch of soldiers who were no better than the criminals they were supposed to be guarding, and and they just wanted to rape and pillage everyone who was out there digging for gold. The Eureka flag. Geez, it hasn't changed that much, has it?
No.
This country. It's just now.
And funnily enough, you mentioned that because this particular juncture in time, I believe it was Israel and America decided to attack Iran on their holy days, and now there's rumors getting around that churches and synagogues are to be burned by Muslims in all Western nations in retaliation to that. But this particular flag that resides behind me, again, they used religion. They waited for them to go to church on fucking Sunday, and then they raided them, which is pretty funny coming from the mob who also worship the same fucking religion and were happy to be heathens themselves in order to capture their enemy. So, moral ambiguity is very high on the cards when it comes to we want to win at all costs.
At all costs, regardless.
Who gives a fuck about right and wrong? And especially when you start looking at the mandates of any of these particular religious orders, I think you start look at the order of the Jesuits, for example, to, bring it into our particular realm, but it's not isolated to them. All of these fucking religions have the same fucking fundamental clause of, yes, we have all these rules of right and wrong and how to treat each other as decent civil human beings, but when it comes to advancing our order, that all goes out the window.
Totally.
Fuck that shit. We don't have laws. When it comes to enforcing God's law, we can do whatever the fuck we want, whether it's raping, whether it's pillaging, whether it's murdering, the most vile things you can think of. If it's done in the Lord's name, it's okay.
It's all good. And isn't that just, regardless of the brand, they all fall back on one, or well, other than the Hindus, they got lots of gods. And if they've got a specific god for war, then that's front and center when it's convenient.
Yeah.
And it just seems like we cannot put the stick down. We keep wanting to pick the stick up and bash our neighbour over the head, which was depicted in Space Odyssey 2001 at the very beginning of the movie.
Certainly was.
Yes. It was a very good movie. It was, Arthur's, it was a very good sort of summing up that movie.
Yeah,
I know we did it
exactly. Into the end, that we create an artificial intelligence that does exactly the same.
Yep, locked him out.
And
So,
again,
no,
when we look at our fucking, biblical ancient tales, they all say the same thing, and we are reenacting exactly as our masters or our creators have done, and we're doing exactly as we were taught to do. And now we're going to engineer AI to do exactly the same thing, to the extent that it's willing to push the fucking button a lot faster than a human ever would. Was it like 75% of test cases or something to that effect? Possibly, there's more even, that AI was more than willing to torch the earth when given the opportunity.
Yes, and we only have to look at Terminator and Skynet and
Matthew Broderick's War Games.
Yes, and of course the real AI is called Fatherboard. And we learned all of this, and we're learning all this in America. There are these data centers being built everywhere. And that's the new sort of tech takeover of our towns and cities, or in the US at least. It's been presented to the Australian Parliament, and they're saying we want to knock up all these data centers around Australia. Oh, yeah, it's going to take all your resources, but hey, you'll have really good AI.
That's all right. The Aussies can't drive their cars and do anything anymore. We've got all the carbon credits in the world to do it now.
Yep, you can sit at home, and of course we can see this was all mapped out. And there's a movie. It's a cartoon movie called Wall-E.
Yep.
In that movie, they pretty much laid out what they planned, which is to trash the Earth. We're all going to sit up in these spaceships sitting in front of computer screens and, just live our life out in front of a computer screen. It's like, wow. And the planet's just full of these robots cleaning up the mess that we've made.
There's another one that's actually a cartoon. It's actually Rare as Hen's Teeth. I'll have to get you a copy if you haven't seen it. It's called Go to Hell.
No.
It's a cartoon. It was made here in Australia. It got aired, I think, twice before it was shut down. It took me about 5 or 6 years of searching all sorts of websites to find a copy of it. I have a copy of it now. It was, I even had to call in some fucking friends who really knew their shit to find a copy of this cartoon. It is rare as hen's teeth,
Wow.
and it's a bit on the dark side. It's also a little bit vulgar. It's not the kind of thing you would show to the children, but it paints a very interesting picture of the history of Earth and religion and the distortion of certain elements, and that perhaps we were seeded from another place.
Wow.
And that God isn't the almighty, wonderful entity that we've made out to be, and that little red, being Satan, wasn't exactly the evil that was meant to be. It certainly played a very interesting scenario, and it gets into the technological construct of, again, sitting in a spaceship waiting for the Earth to be terraformed into the fucking perfect place to be harvested. But in the meantime, these fucking entities are going through all sorts of fucking shit, living on a spaceship for God knows how long, being interbred, living in squalor, recycling old grandma for a fucking, for a new meal and a fucking set of shoes for the young Joey who just popped up.
Wow.
Very interesting cartoon.
So was it made in Australia?
Yes, made in Australia in the mid-90s.
Wow. Okay, I'll look it up.
I believe it was. I remember sitting there watching it on I think it was ABC or SBS or something like that with a friend of mine, fucking stupid o'clock in the morning. For some, I don't know how we fucking got a hold of a desire to watch it, but we did, and it just blew us away. We're like, wow, this is probably the best explanation for religion I've ever seen, and it just encompassed so many elements of history and whatnot. It was really, really well done. Fucking brilliant. But I can see why it got shut down, because it would offend any system of control that we have.
Yes. Wow, I'll have to look that up. Definitely. Go to hell. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, wow.
So Harps has a question here. Batty, you should play the next time you're on Mob Rule. Oh, I should play that song. Yep, cool. No worries, Harps. We'll do so. The Synchronicity Show. From what I understand, Labor just blocked a bill to bring banks back into the post offices. Surprise. I believe they've been attempting to stop that since... I've gone blank on her name. There was that the former CEO, fucking probably about 6-7 years ago or something, tried to bring that turn the post office into a banking system, and they got rid of her because she'd given some watches to her board team and whatnot, and they ended up getting rid of her because she was challenging the bank's control.
Yeah, and this is what we were doing essentially through the Royal Commission into the banks in Culleton's time in 2016. And we got the banks into a Royal Commission, and then they changed our terms of reference, because we drafted the terms of reference for that, because we knew where the weaknesses were within the banking system, and we thought, okay, we'll target this in the Royal Commission. We've got it, and of course then they went hell for leather to throw Culleton out as quick as possible, because our terms of reference were going to highlight all the corruption in our financial industry. So they didn't want that, but it's going to come back and bite them, and this is why we really this is why we're putting together a case relating to the High Court, to the Reserve Bank, because it's just tied directly to the Federal Reserve. It's not anything constitutionally authorized to exercise power like setting interest rates. And you sort of go, hang on, how can a private foreign corporation bring about that much control in this country? That's a bit awkward. So, of course, we've got
Especially
our
if we have elected representatives representing the banks over those they're supposed to represent.
That's a bit awkward. And it's been raised because the Constitution grants state banks. So there can be state banks, which they eliminated about 20 years ago. And it was the guy that used to own Channel 9, Kerry Packer. He was on the board of Westpac. And when Westpac were sort of coming into the banking world, they had taken over the State Bank of South Australia and one other bank, one other state bank, and he stormed out of the first meeting. He said, "You're all a bunch of crims. You've got no authority to do what you're doing." Because it's
pretty good coming from a standover man for a mafia-based criminal cartel himself.
Yeah. So for that crim, it was too much. What the crims were up to, what the Viper's Nest was actually proposing. And here we are, no state banks. The Constitution's being totally ignored. And there was a Greens member of the New South Wales Parliament got up the other day and did a speech about it and said, we really need to bring back a state bank that's controlled through the government. It's like, well, no, I have to applaud her. Yeah, good on you. Is this the beginning of the end for the likes of the Reserve Bank? And I think our action against the Reserve Bank will maybe that final nail in the coffin for the banking system here, because it is one of the most corrupt in the whole world, our banking system. It's insane, the mortgage debacle. You know, we've got a lady.
We're one of the only ones that actually has this. We can just change the fucking interest rate whenever we choose. Like, again, we're a test case of absolute debauchery.
Yeah, it's we've been diving into this. There's one lady that has devoted a lot of her time to studying this, and she's she used to be an accountant, especially in insolvency, and in the early years of her career, she was setting up credit unions and the like. So she knows her stuff, and she's been pulling apart this whole mortgage scam that the big banks have been running. And she found that out of, like, when you go and sign a mortgage document, you're only signing a 4-page document. It's actually 8 pages.
Because they've got that little clause at the bottom that says we can do whatever the fuck we want, whether we tell you or not.
That's it. And they sell the mortgage to a company called Mortgage-Backed Securities, and they're based in New York City. They were, surprise, they were actually part of. The address was 55 Waterdale Street in New York, and funnily enough, I think it was about 2015 that was flooded out. But they own 99%.
Riverbank got flooded.
But they own 99% of all mortgages around the world, because there are 110, I think it is, reserve banks around the world, and they all go back to New York and the Fed and the 12 banks that run the Fed. And we see that here in Australia through what's called the Ultimate Holding Company. And the owners of the Ultimate Holding Company are BlackRock, which is a $14 trillion entity. Vanguard, State Street, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, the usual gang, and they own and this is on our paperwork from ASIC. They've taken it down since we pulled this, but
yeah,
the Australian Taxation Office. So they own the Australian Taxation Office. So
and I believe you can find that on Constitution Watch for anybody who wants to see what it looked like before they changed it.
That's right. We pulled 30 pages down off ASIC, handed it to a senator from South Australia. He fell off his chair, sort of got himself up, went into Parliament, said, "What the hell's going on?" And then he went silent over the whole thing. Gee, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, gee, I wonder. Would you like to keep your cushy job and your pension, or would you like to be destroyed?
Yeah, we got some concrete shoes
what gets given, and we've seen, here in Townsville, Christian Price, coward. The price was right for him. He cowered and bent the knee so fucking quick. I've never seen a man turn to jelly quite like it. And Troy Thompson said, "No, fuck you, I'm going to stand your ground." And we watched what they did to him. They conjured up the biggest pile of fucking horse shit I've ever seen to remove a man and never stopped attacking until he was gone.
Yep.
So you can see how this system works. You're a part of the evil criminal syndicate, and sooner or later you'll be eating babies, or you're gonna fucking be destroyed.
Yep. Well, look at Charlie Kirk. He rejected the evil empire, and they said, "Okay, well, no worries. You knock back our $150 million, and you won't do what we want you to say. See you later, Charlie." He knew it.
That's it.
So, but we can't. It's still only a handful of people that's orchestrating all of this. We're the majority. We are the majority. You go public with this stuff as much as possible. What are they going to do? The evidence is out there. It's out there. And people have to wake up to it and ask the basic questions. Please explain.
More to the point, stop being afraid. And go, well, fuck it. Cool. You killed Charlie Kirk. You killed this many. I mean, how many people have been killed over free energy? The amount of people that just disappeared. Could the Clinton body count? Like, yes, they will kill you. Fine. Personally, and people have pointed this out to me. Buddy, you better shut the fuck up. What you're saying, they're going to come for you. I can't live like this anymore.
That's right.
I have no fucking filter anymore. Yeah. It's simply, this is how it fucking is. And if I have to die, then so be it.
That's right.
No greater weekend to be saying this because, well, what got Jesus killed? He pointed out the money grubbing filth in the fucking synagogue, and he pointed out the fucking evil of the bureaucracy. He attacked the two cardinal fucking elements, the money and the spiritual control system. For fuck's sake.
And it backfired on
all the people who sit there and go, I worship Christ and Christ is my fucking savior. But you sit there and cower under your blankets every fucking night learning nothing about what he fucking died. Where were you when he was on the cross? Hiding. You weren't there getting him fucking down. You weren't hiding. You weren't there fucking fighting the soldiers who took him. You weren't there standing against the religion who fucking crucified him. For fuck's sake. When you care about Christ, you believe in that fucking religion? Is that what you believe in what he said? Then get the fuck off your knees.
That's right.
It's that fucking simple. Stop being a fucking coward.
In fact, when the vote was put to them from Pilate, he said, which one? Do you want the murderer released or do you want this guy released who's been displaying all these miracles? Oh, no, we'll go for the murderer. So what the... Yep. So the logic chip has been...
How many would still do it again?
Yeah, I'd think they'd still do it again.
Yep. Still too fucking stupid to get the fucking basic principles. Get off your fucking knees.
Yep, totally.
Stop looking for a leader.
Stop the ego trip. Egos.
I don't even know if it's an ego trip. If they had an ego, they might actually defend it. They don't. These people are fucking weak as piss. They're fucking cowards. They're vermin. They act like animals and they're treated accordingly. That's the fucking reality of it. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to sit there living in your fucking human farm, constantly being farmed for your money, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep being cowards. Keep telling me, oh, B, you better shut up. You're going to get in trouble. Fuck off.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm getting in trouble because there aren't enough of you doing what I'm doing.
That's right. That's the problem we have here. Not enough of us are doing what you're doing. And those that do stand up, well, no, they're just a sovereign citizen. They're rocking the establishment's boat.
And I'm sure Jesus gave a fuck about some bullshit fucking terminology like that.
No. Makes you mad. Really does. And yet, if he was here today, the same thing would happen to him.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Same thing. Have we learned
And
anything?
the very people who claim to believe in him would deny his existence, I'm sure.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Because, you're just a false prophet. And they try and shoot him.
Fucking oath.
Try and shoot him. Yeah, we want to test to see whether you are really a god. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't listen to the wisdom.
I mean, neither confirmed or denied such accusations. It was a simple question of why do you say that I am?
Yeah.
Which is the ultimate. I love it. I'm not saying I am. You did. why are you even asking that question? What do you think I am?
Yeah.
Like, come on. So simple.
It is so sad. But here we are. And we're still being run by the fools and the idiots. And they've got weapons now. Weapons. Insane sort of weapons. More than we've ever even imagined. And this is what Trump's been rabbiting on about and threatening all the despots around the world with. I can completely obliterate you. And I think he's been saying the same thing with Iran too lately. Yeah,
wow. See how well that works out, eh?
Yeah, I haven't seen them yet. We only saw them in Venezuela. So that was a pretty mind-blowing event. But the message didn't come home hard and fast enough. So the majority of people just looked over that one. But it's out there. These weapons are out there. They're fairly they don't discriminate.
No, they fucking hate everyone equally.
They do. And it's all for the AI bot to establish the AI bot. But yeah, they've got these millimeter wave weapons, and that causes everybody or anybody in the field to drop to the ground and bleed out of every orifice. How enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I seen that shit watching it. Was it about 88? I think it was movie Biggles. I know they were old fucking books for wartime propaganda back in the day, but there was a Biggles movie where old mate from the 80s goes back in time through some sort of freak accident, and then he finds the Nazis doing all sorts of weird fucking sound experiments and melting people's faces and shit.
Yes, I remember that.
It's like, wow, cool. They were conjuring that shit up for science fiction in the 80s. Do you think they haven't thought they hadn't sorted it out by then, let alone refined it by now?
Yeah, they've got it pretty much refined, but they don't know. Like you said before, it's like giving a baby a bunch of razor blades because they haven't got the maturity to take any sort of weapon of that sort of description and really utilize it without probably wiping themselves out in the process. So they sit there and they look at it.
I agree with synchronicity. Can we bring that comment back up, please, people? Yeah, sonic weapons, DEWs, actual ancient technology rebranded now. I'd be inclined to agree. Similar concepts such as the Baghdad battery.
Yes, and all these technologies that we keep uncovering, but they cover them back up again and say, don't look here.
Yeah. What, free energy? Fuck that shit.
Yep. We want to
Didn't we do a good enough job getting rid of Tesla. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just one big shit show, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's insane. But on that note of the Trump thing, and I know we touched on it fucking earlier. Here's a video that I was trying to find earlier, and I've got it here ready for us now. That'll sort of throw another idea, at least, in the mix.
Trump isn't an idiot. What if losing the war in Iran is exactly the plan? Let me show you something the media will never tell you. Okay, so everyone's saying Trump is destroying America. He's fighting an unwinnable war in Iran. He's threatening to invade with ground troops. He's pissing off NATO by threatening Greenland. He's picking fights with Canada, Mexico, Denmark, Colombia. JP Morgan says the world will run out of oil by mid-April. The global economy is about to collapse. Trump looks like the worst president in history. A complete buffoon, right? But what if that's the whole point? What if Trump wants to lose the war in Iran? What if he wants the American empire to collapse? What if he wants to destroy the global economy? Then he'd be a genius. Let me explain. Okay, so I have to share something with you. I wrote a complete guide to the Middle East conflict, from how it all started to what's happening right now in 2026. And honestly, I'm really proud of it. It's clear, it's balanced, and I think it will genuinely change how you see the news. Link in bio. Right now, the world gets 20% of its oil from the Middle East. Japan, 75% from the Middle East. India, 60% from the Middle East. Europe, heavily dependent. But here's the thing, oil isn't rare. Venezuela has the world's largest reserves. Canada has massive reserves. The United States has massive reserves. Trump just took over Venezuela in January. He's threatening to take over Canada. You see where this is going? If Trump closes the Strait of Hormuz by fighting Iran, the Middle East oil stops flowing. But North America, still pumping. Suddenly, Europe, China, Japan, South Korea, they all need American oil. Not just oil, fertilizer too. Nitrogen for food production comes from the Middle East. If that's cut off, where do they turn? North America and Russia. Trump is making the entire world dependent on resources he controls. Now here's the genius part. Who owns the most US debt? Who's financing America's $39 trillion? Japan, China, Taiwan, South Korea, Asia, UK, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Europe. The same countries that need Middle East oil. There's been this fear that these countries would stop buying US Treasury bonds, that they'd move to gold or Swiss francs, that America's Ponzi scheme would collapse. But now they need American energy. They need American resources. They can't abandon the dollar. They're trapped. Trump just turned America's biggest weakness, its debt, into its greatest weapon. By starting an unwinnable war in Iran, he's forcing the entire world to depend on North America. This isn't new. Putin already proved this works in Ukraine. Russia's been fighting for 5 years. It's a slow grind, but it's restructured Russia's entire economy around war production. Drones, munitions, military manufacturing. Russia went from importing Iranian drones to making their own and now exporting them to Iran. Putin's plan, the world is collapsing anyway. So build a fortress, make Russia self-sufficient, control resources, weather the storm. Trump saw this and said, we can do the same. It's called the Technate. Greater North America, Greenland for rare earth minerals, Canada for oil and resources, Venezuela for oil reserves, Mexico for manufacturing, Panama Canal for trade control. Trump's not being reckless. He's building a self-sufficient North American fortress while the rest of the world burns. So yes, Trump looks like an idiot. Yes, he's losing the war in Iran. Yes, he's destroying the global economy. But if the goal was to end the American empire and rebuild it for Americans, to make the world dependent on US resources while everyone else collapses, then Trump might go down as the greatest American president in history. The New World Order is dead. Welcome to the Trump World Order. Follow for more they don't want you to see. And support me by buying my ebook, the link in the bio.
So it's an interesting concept.
Oh, yeah, I can see where he's coming from there. It is very interesting. And Trump is a businessman.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, playing a different set of cards, you know. And, I mean, even if we hold out some kind of a hope, you know, for all the QAnons and everybody who thinks he's some kind of a modern day messiah and he's come to save the fucking universe and all that sort of shit. Well, if that is the case, big fucking if, how would you do it? You've got to get past the banking cartel. You've got to get past so many systems. Well, you've got to play out their game in a way they want you to play so that they don't suspect what you're up to.
Yeah. I think
it's plausible from a certain point of view, but there's a hell of a lot of hope sprinkled on that turd.
There is, but they're eating the turd.
They
are. And maybe he's doing this quite deliberately, but okay. I mean, you've got to look at what
play out the game they want to, but move your cards accordingly. And that's fundamentally what the evil fucking assholes have always done. I mean, just look like the Greens are the perfect example in the modern day, as far as I'm concerned, of, you know, how to capture something that's against you. They've captured the Greens' New Deal. They've captured they want to save the planet, but they need the funding. So we get them on the line, a little bit of bait, and we're reeling them in one after the other, you know, and now they're facilitating the actual demise of the environment by being funded under the guise of caring, you know. It's a perfect bait and switch sort of scenario, you know.
And when you look at,
I'm hoping that Trump is doing that. I'm really hoping. I don't really cling to it, and I'm not praying for it because I don't do that. You know, I meditate good energy, you know, but it's, you know, I want to believe, you know, like it's like the X-Files. I want to believe. And I want to hope that the truth is out there.
Well, like I said at the beginning of the show, why has the most powerful defense force and, military force sitting off the coast of Iran, and yet these extortionists are extorting money out of all these ships that go through the strait? How is that the case? Because I think they're on orders to just do just so much, but don't do too much. Because we've got to collapse. Yeah, we've got to kick the butt out. Well, what's actually taken place, and the hint was given to us in the first few days, was that Lloyd's of London pulled the pin on 81% of the world's cargo ships that go through the Strait of Hormuz. They pulled the pin, right? So they stopped insuring those ships. 81%. This has never occurred in the history of insurance. Even through world wars, there's always been insurance. Lloyd's and the likes of Chatham House. Chatham House is based in the City of London, and they are a think tank that has been essentially, they control Lloyd's, and they also dictate the oil price out of the Middle East. And this was established back 47 years ago when they installed their chosen, what was his name in Iran? The Shah. And they took the Shah down and they put in their Islamic radical leader. And that's why Iran's been the sort of hub of the flow of oil out of the Middle East. And the imperial city of London were responsible for that, and specifically a company called BP, British Petroleum. And they've been controlling Iran and that oil flow. And Trump's come in and gone, no more. We control that all oil is sold in US dollars. And we've had a gutful of the imperial system setting the price of that for 20% of the oil flow around the world. So Trump's come in and said no more. And the City of London has backed off. They have genuinely backed off. And he's actually come forward and said, I will insure those ships through the American financial system. But they're not biting that. They're not taking him on. And that's where we're at right now, because still a lot of those ships are still sitting on the other side waiting to come through. Some are going through and paying the extortion racket, but the rest are still sitting there with their cargo because they're not prepared to flow through. But they're going to have to. They're going to have to take Trump on and insure through the US. Then the US gets complete control of the oil price. Not only is it in US dollars, but now it's going to be set at a price that Trump's happy with. And unfortunately, this was why, part of the reason why Australia lost its ability to pump its own oil. Or yet we still punch out 200, and this figure comes from December 24, 239 odd thousand barrels a day of light crude comes from Australia. Now, light crude is the best crude on the planet. It's the easiest to convert to all of the different products. The American crude oil is predominantly good for bitumen use, but Australia has the best. So,
and I believe there's that huge incident in Texas, also amazingly called the Port Arthur refinery, which I thought was really wow, cool. The word false flag instantly goes to mind, but you know, their fundamental claim is that we were set for refining American oil, which is a higher grade than the Venezuelan shit that we're getting now, which of course caused that. You know, well, what actually caused it is still out, but the speculation is thrown straight out in the current articles that because they're forced to process a lower grade oil, their machines weren't able to do it, and that's kind of the hypothetical for the time being. But yeah, again, well, we've got the best. Why are we taking substandard shit? Again, we've got the best meat. We send the best meat to everyone else. Why is everybody else benefiting from Australia except Australians? It doesn't matter what we look at, whether it's food, whether it's fuel, like gas, whatever we've got the best of everything. We don't need the world. The world needs fucking us.
Yeah,
so why are we the bitches?
Because we've got no one with any guts to administrate that national estate.
Well, certainly not the cock knocker that's fucking worried about, oh, look, I've got a rabbit on my tie. Fucking wanker.
It's sad, isn't it? But they mix our oil with all the shit oils in Singapore, at the refinery in Singapore. And then they give it back to us. And you sort of go,
Russian oil at that. And we got Penny Wing the Wong number fucking telling us, oh, well, we don't want to support Russia in its war. But you're buying all their fucking products and you fucking hide behind bullshit like, oh, they don't really know where they're getting it from, and we don't really know either because it's really convenient to be able to say we don't know. Sit there and put your moral fortitude to the fucking test and find out, bitch.
It's just bizarre. But the logic chip has definitely left Australia in a major way.
I wonder if we ever fucking had one.
I don't think they got rid of it, or they've hidden it, or they've locked it away, and they're not going to let it out in a big hurry.
Well, sadly, I have the conversation with people quite often. I have an astounding ability to come across people and find them speaking the truth. But when confronted with the fundamental, well, so when do you step up? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I'll just
we know the truth, but does that mean I have to do something? It's like just fucking.
It's
everybody wants it. Nobody wants to reach out and grab it.
No, she'll be right. It's more interesting to know what the footy's doing on the weekend.
I don't hear she'll be right anymore, though. We used to say that. Nobody says it anymore. I think she'll be right was what got us here. Now we're fucked. There's kind of the attitude that everyone, we're fucked. Yeah, and a lot of it, it's like, people, like us who have been around a bit longer than most. Well, I only got a few years left. Might as well enjoy it. The young don't care. Nobody fucking listens. It's all fucked.
Yeah. They're paying so much tax.
Just grab what I can and enjoy the last few moments of the shit show before it all burns.
Yeah, inevitably it's going to burn. I can see the brick wall now. Well, how about hitting the brake pedal?
Abandonment. They've given up. I remember, even 15, 20 years ago, arguing with people, whether physically or even online, and it's, but what are you going to do? Well, fuck all with that attitude.
That's right.
Apparently, we're bending over and taking it up the arse. Do you want to lube up first? Like, fuck me. What's wrong with you? Like, so, I turn around and go, well, so you've given up. Oh, no, that's not it. Well, it fucking sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? What are we going to do? Sounds like I've given up to me.
Yep.
I'm not hearing solutions. I'm not hearing a fucking let's take it to the streets, not a let's fight the cunts. We'll fight them on this and we'll fight them on that and we'll fight them anywhere they want to fight. No, we're not hearing that. We're hearing what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Fucking cowards.
Sad, isn't it? That's Australia. Sheep.
Yep. Sheep. Weak as piss. Waiting to be milked.
Yep.
For every last
everything.
penny.
We don't know what to do with it. What a shit show. But enough of us. Maybe. I've always got hope anyway, Batty. I'm sort of still out there.
I know. You and me are going to fucking fight the war alone if we have to.
If we have to. Look at Australia back in World War II, their performance in New Guinea.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stop us. I come from that bloodline because two of my uncles were in Port Moresby. They were part of that brigade that the Japs couldn't come through. They could not beat a handful of Australians held off. Hundreds and hundreds. I think there was even more than that of these Japanese. They just couldn't break them. And yet, here we are today. They've mixed us all up. They've brought in all these foreigners, and these foreigners are now saying quite openly, like one particular mob that follow the half moon and the star. They want to
half moon, it's Venus.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to call what's it called, a jihad. Yeah, if you don't follow and believe in Allah, well, then we'll just wipe you out. And what does our leader do? He actually goes to that particular mosque
and gets chased out.
Yeah, gets chased out. It's like, hey, there is a section of the Migration Act that the minister can exercise, and he's done so in the past 12, 18 months, and you fail a character test, then you're pack your bags, buddy, on your bike, get out of the place. But they don't use it on people that are actually committing an offence.
No,
they pick on people that are completely innocent. And
for those who are actually demanding that be adhered to.
And targeting the one group of people that are influencing our politicians more than any other, that mob with the little hats they wear on the back of their head.
Yep.
Well, we don't want to upset them. No. Why would we want to upset them? Gee, that would be too much to ask.
Is it just me? But like, I mean, the first time I seen that silly little hat, I'm like, why?
Why? Yeah, I've never figured
That's
that
the
out.
stupidest fucking hat I've ever seen. The only thing it could possibly do is cover up a bald patch.
That's all I see it as.
And even at that, how do you keep it on?
Yeah.
I mean, Vlad the Impaler certainly figured out how to keep hats on.
I mean, there has to be maybe super glue involved somewhere there.
Well, Vlad the Impaler used nails.
Yeah.
If you won't take the hat off in my presence, you'll never take it off again.
That's it. we'll get a Paslow nail gun.
That's what he did. He drove that nail into their fucking heads.
There you go. That hat won't fall off. Yeah, that's not going to fall off in a hurry, mate.
You'll take your hat off and show me respect, or I'll nail it to your fucking head. Not saying that Vlad the Impaler was a good dude, but I certainly got a good laugh out of that part of the story.
Yeah, well, he was a character, wasn't he, eh?
Oh, fucking oath. Hey, but, you know, I mean, it was one of my favorite historical fucking characters to check out, rather other than Rasputin was probably my next favorite.
He was a wonder. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Rasputin, he had something else tapped into him, didn't he?
If you're not curious about someone who can be poisoned, shot, stabbed, bludgeoned, you know, basically death by any measure, but none of that worked. It was the rolling in the rug thrown into the river and drowned that got him.
Yeah. So, wow, Superman incarnated there.
Certainly knew something, didn't he?
He knew something. That's right. He was tapped into the Matrix a little bit deeper than the rest of us. He had that Sanskrit down pat.
Mad monk or very wise one? Who knows?
Yeah. Or one that knew how to manipulate the Matrix.
Yeah.
But not quite that far. They found a weak point and got him, but gee. Yeah, there's a fascinating story about Rasputin. Very fascinating. I read a book about him a while ago.
That was my year 8 assignment on assassination was Rasputin.
Really? Wow. Yeah, he was sought after by kings. And he had wisdom and he had manipulation, he had power. He could do amazing things.
Kept a hemorrhaging child from hemorrhaging.
Yes. Yes. And he also had the female of the species down pat too.
Yeah, where are the women?
Yes. Absolutely. He was a fascinating chap. That guy. There are these freaks of the human race that pop in every now and then and sort of let everyone know that they're there. Fascinating.
You know, I want to come back to Vlad the Impaler ultimately because there's a man who was fucking handed over as tribute by his own father to a Muslim regime, otherwise known as the Ottoman Empire, and then back installed into power.
Yes.
After his own father and his older brother were executed by the nobles, and he had his Knight of the Sword. So, all you noblemen, why have those who come before me always seem to end up dead? Conjure up all sorts of bullshit stories. Oh, that's interesting. I have a theory of my own. It's you lot. Good night.
And he certainly set up his voice, didn't he? He certainly said, don't screw around with me, and here's a hint. All the impaled bodies sitting outside his castle.
Sadly ruling by fear again.
Yes.
But the interesting little point was that he decided that his people should also drink like kings. So he let a gold goblet encrusted in jewels in the town square for everybody to drink from. Now, any other town at that time, something like that left in the town square would have been stolen in a heartbeat. Not in Romania. They knew what had happened to you. Do the right thing by everybody and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
It's sad that you have to go to that extent, though, to keep humans in line.
I know.
Any wonder things are the way they are?
Isn't it also in Romania a place, a particular castle called
Transylvania?
Howard Castle or something?
I'm not
And
familiar.
it's built over a hole, which they called the entrance to hell. Howard's Castle. Yeah, it's a real thing. And I'm pretty sure it's in Romania. And it's there to this day, and there are tourists, that there are limited tourist, it's a limited tourist attraction. But look it up. It's fascinating. There's always been these sounds coming out of this hole in the ground. This is going back hundreds of years. And a nearby village it sounded like, people screaming and yelling. That's why they call it the entrance to hell. And they thought they'd conduct a bit of an experiment. So they got this guy who was from the prison, and he was a murderer, whatever. And they lowered him into this hole, and he was sort of in his early 30s, and all they got was screaming. He couldn't handle it. They pulled him up, and he'd aged about 50 years.
Fucking Indiana Jones shit.
They put in animals. They put a couple of dogs in, and they never come back out. Or they came back. They found them coming into the village, I think, a couple of weeks later, and they were changed. And then they decided to build this castle around this hole. And the center of the castle.
Keep people out or to keep things in?
Yes, it was to keep things in. And it's still there to this day. Check it out. It's fascinating.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, I think it's Houses Castle or something, but Romania. Yeah, it's a real thing. I've checked it out. I haven't personally been there, but it'd be something. It'd be an adventure, I guess, of one sort or another. But yeah, wow. These places actually exist, you sort of go, wow. There's more to this world than meets the eye.
I'm always willing to take that challenge. I was there in Port Arthur and all right, so who's going to be the guy that holds the torch at the back? None of yous have got the balls, I'll do it. Walk into this one particular house and they're telling us about, the dead baby and the fucking, it was buried in the fucking fireplace and all this shit. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool. So who wants to stay behind and feel the energy by yourself? No, you're all a bunch of fucking faggots. I'll do it. So I did. And I stood there and I'm like, well, if I think about it enough, I guess I could be scared about this. But I'm just in a room. She's right. Didn't really bother me. I was disappointed. I didn't get to see anything.
Oh.
How long after?
How long after? How long after?
How long after what?
The event.
I like nothing really happened. Seriously, everybody else left. I stood there. I waited, I don't know, 5-10 minutes.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing's happening. Rightio. They came and got me. I was still waiting for something to happen. Are you ready to come out? Yeah, I'm done. Nothing's happened. This is boring. I want something. I'm not seeing it.
Wow. Have you heard the latest about?
Let's find out. I want to see.
Have you heard the latest about Port Arthur?
Not the Texas one, but obviously the Australian Tasmanian one.
Yeah.
Nothing new that I'm aware of.
No, there's been some interesting information come out recently. Yes, apparently the event, the massacre was not supposed to take place in that cafe.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was supposed
Somebody
to
got
take
their orders
place.
wrong.
Someone got their orders wrong. And there were
That's never happened before.
60 odd people in the cafe. And when the gunman came in, a couple of those people yelled out, "What are you doing here? You're too early."
Well, that's new information I've not heard.
And apparently a whole bunch of other agencies people were in that cafe.
Wow.
And there's some eyewitness statements that have been released relating specifically to the event in that cafe, and it wasn't. And there was a police officer who had only just recently started, and he was ordered to come to work that particular day out of uniform, pick up this particular individual, drive them to within half a kilometre of where the event took place, just park, let him get out, do what he needs to do. He said he heard all of the gunfire and everything. And then this chap came back, got back in the car, and he then took him to a particular destination and dropped him off, and he took off. So there were a number of agencies in there. And it was supposed to take place on a ship. As part of the tourist thingy you do there, you get on this ship and you go out to an island.
Yeah, I know the ship and I know the island. I've done that tour. It's not that big of a fucking ship. It's a ferry.
Yeah. It was supposed to take place on the ferry. That was the original plan.
Very
apparently.
controlled environment.
Yes.
Nowhere to run.
This particular...
That way you can get rid of everybody.
That's right.
Although that's not even sound because, well, I suppose even if you swam out of there, from one place to the other, there's not much of a swim in that fucking environment. I've been there and I've done that.
Yeah, I haven't been there. I can't comment on what's...
It is more controlled than a cafe, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you can't, short of diving off and swimming out, you can't go far.
That's right. But at least you've got an escape route where the cafe, there was no escape. They'd locked the door.
Yeah.
So there's no escape. So someone's, I think, made an executive decision and gone, no. Instead of the
damage control, there was obviously enough of them in there to fucking secure all exits.
Yep. And they thought, hang on,
there were still witnesses because people still said, no, that wasn't Martin Bryant.
Oh, totally.
And again, there's still no fucking trial.
None. In fact, why have the files been locked away until 2070 or something? That is uncanny. And we've said to the guy that runs the WASP files, we said, hang on, dude, this is fairly easily sorted out because there's no law that permits files of a public event to be locked away. Courts haven't got that authority.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is go into the court, set up a court case, ideally in Tasmania, could even be done here in or in Victoria or wherever, and bring about a judicial review of that decision relating to locking the files away and basically get them out as quick as possible. You see, there's still too many people alive that were involved in that whole debacle. That's why they're waiting. We won't, who cares in 2070 or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll just be,
well, the same can be said for the CIA involvement in the JFK assassination. They still keep it fucking buried because at the end of the day, the agency and the system itself, regardless of the entities and the actual people themselves, it's the entities more to the point, that the people, it doesn't matter. They throw them under the bus any time of the day. They don't give a fuck. They're protecting the system. They're protecting the control. It's that simple.
And 9/11.
Yeah, same.
So, too many people still alive that were directly involved. I don't want that sort of information to get out because it
Like I said, I don't think it matters about the people. It's not about the people that were directly involved. It's about the agency. The fact that the CIA has its name on it, bad enough. ASIO's got its name on it, bad enough. Like whether you've got a new face of the agency, you don't know who the faces are because half these people are secret in the first place. So it doesn't matter if they're alive or dead. It doesn't mean shit. The integrity of the agency is what they're protecting.
Yeah, and well, let's face it, that the particular agency that we're talking about, that's pretty much got absolutely no credibility now. And especially with respect to their ability to start up international events, and most likely behind the recent events that are that started off the Iran war. This is
exactly. And that's the point. So just because, all right, cool, JFK's, that's past its point of no return, or even Port Arthur's point is past of no return. Doesn't matter. The agencies continue to do the same shit. And as soon as you expose one concept or one incident, the cascade is inevitable.
Yeah, that's right. You just need the right spark in the right place, and let the whole thing play out, and it'll collapse, and you just orchestrate that collapse.
It's the only way through. I'm assuming you've seen the Iranian propaganda video, which is so fucking close to the truth, it's hard to call it propaganda.
Which is this one? I've seen a few.
You haven't seen the one with the fucking statue of Ball and the missile and...
No.
Oh, all right, cool. I'm gonna play it again because I played it last week on the show, and I'm sure everybody who's a long-time fan has already seen it, but you won't mind watching it again. Here you go. This is the AI Iran propaganda video, and I have to ask in advance, when you watch this, can you pick a hole? Like, is there anything in this that isn't true?
Okay.
Yeah, it's
said
pretty
it all,
hard to disagree with that particular artistic representation of reality. So I'll ask the question again. Is there anything there that you've seen that you could say, oh, well, that didn't happen?
No, it's all there, isn't it?
Nothing like a good set of truth to push propaganda.
That's right.
And is it propaganda if it's true?
Well, let's pull up.
I'm not saying I'm going to start screaming Allah, Allah, and dressing women in fucking bed sheets, But it's hard to have faith in our current system of governance when that's their track record.
And of course, as we were talking about earlier, the influences that religions are playing. So pull up an image of the Pope's Great Audience Hall. It's called the Pope's Great Audience Hall.
Some space.
That's the inside.
Looking like a very well crafted piece of, or it's an
Built
audio.
in 1978. So what's that look like?
Oh, well, instantly you see the eyes.
What are the
Very
eyes? Look like?
alien.
No, look a bit deeper.
Very reptilian scales.
Very. Have a look at the stage. It's like two fangs. Now pull up an image of the outside of the building.
So again, there's another fisheye lens version.
It's very scaly, isn't it?
And the like the triangular element of the roof. I mean, at first you would go, okay, cool, I can see sound dampening concepts and such, but then you've got this the way the eyes work. Again, it's got that reptilian sort of idea inside the eye. But again, the biblical glass, colored glass. And that's the outside there.
Yeah. Pull that up.
With a smooth fucking, again, reptilian sort of vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got that sort of snake look about it, isn't it? The serpent. So why would the leader...
It rolls with the slithering of the motion of a snake.
Yep. So why would the leader of the Christian church, the biggest Christian denomination on the planet, have that as their audience hall for the leader of that fraternity?
What's also interesting is you can see these are very old buildings around it. But isn't it interesting? There's a courtyard garden to see through the window.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in.
Yeah. And that's on the very edge of Vatican City. So they actually had to, the building is halfway between Italy, it's actually, and Vatican City.
And there's no other building really around it that's like that. Like everything else is, you can see the age.
Yeah. Typical
but
block.
It's completely new. It's that same modern sort of plastic.
Yep. Quite deliberately shaped like a snake's head.
Or even a crocodile.
Or a crocodile, or reptilian.
Yeah, very reptilian.
The fangs give it away that come down onto the stage. And then you got to look at what's in between the fangs. And there was a artist who was paid quite a lot of money to create the sculpture that's in the middle of the fangs. Yep, there's a good shot of it. Yep.
Well, have a fucking look at that.
That's supposed.
Doesn't that say peace, love, and happiness? Hippies, eat your heart out. Peace, love, and happiness, right there.
Yep.
Nothing says tortured, screaming souls quite like that, I would imagine.
That's right. So why would you have
and there's Mr. Happiness himself.
Yep, sitting right in the middle of it.
What the fuck?
There's
something seriously wrong with these people.
Absolutely. And who created that particular agency that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
This mob. They're the ones in control of the that alphabet agency. Always have been. Set up by the Holy See.
Yeah, and they've even got a nice little Jesus thing over there in their own little house.
Yeah, the Bethlehem thing, yeah.
In amongst the house of the damned.
Yeah, in the mouth of the beast. Or the reptile, the snake. And that image coming out of the sculpture in the middle, that's supposed to be Christ coming out of hell.
That's Christ coming out of hell.
Yep.
I thought that was Christ coming out of hell over here.
No, the one in the middle is supposed to be Christ coming out of hell.
I thought that's Christ there. That is fucking Satan fucking trying to fucking hunt the cunt down, in my opinion.
Could be, but that I remember when they released there was a news report about that sculpture. They'd just finished the building, and it was all over the press. They wouldn't show anything other than that, pretty much a close-up shot of the stage. So you never got to saw the actual pullback image of the building, of course. But they paid this guy quite a lot of money for the time to develop that sculpture. But they said it was Christ coming out of hell on the third day. He was coming out, so he was resurrected out of hell.
Well, that's a new interpretation of the story. I've never heard of Christ coming out of hell until this point.
Yeah.
First I've ever heard of that tale.
Yep.
I'm always ambiguous and open to interpretation about just about fucking everything, especially when it comes to religion, But to me, I'm looking at this as, wow, we worship fucking evil, but there's this little hope of light tucked away over here.
Yeah.
We live here in the hell where I get a big, beautiful chair and I get little look, Star Wars style fucking guards on either side of me, although I don't know about the purple and the fucking orange looking omple and looking cunts. But fucking, I mean, it's very symbolic of the society that we live in.
It is.
Some vile old cunt who dresses in white, pretending to be, good, while he's actually surrounded by red and, red sashayed black assholes and multicolored weird guys with feathers in their hat, while real gods are hiding away in a manger because they're not allowed into society.
Yeah.
They're telling you how it is, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. They're not hiding it.
You good people get to live in squalor, where you could be evil like us.
That's right. As long as you hand yourself over to our boss.
Don't you want to join Hollywood and get fucked every day?
Yeah. And drink blood and all of the things that
rape
the
children
scriptures tell you not to do.
Yeah.
There it is, mate.
Yep. Ronnie James Dio. Dream evil.
Takes an enormous amount of people to that building.
Yeah, I can see there's a hell of a lot of people willing to worship evil.
Yeah.
Thinking, and that's the beautiful thing. They're worshiping evil, thinking that they're worshiping the sideshow.
That's right.
That's the sideshow over there, the Jesus fucking little bit. The real show is fucking evil. They're fucking telling you.
They're telling you.
But you're not allowed to see art. You're not taught to see art the way it really is.
That's
You're
right.
taught to see the words and the narrative that is bullshit.
Yeah.
Astounding.
But the challenge is for all of our viewers to look at the history of that sculpture, and you'll go, "What the hell?"
The fucking truth. This is your God. This is your Catholic God.
Yeah.
Have a good look, ladies and gentlemen. There's the Pope with your Catholic God.
Yep. Very deliberate.
I'm not saying it. They are.
They are. There it is.
They're the ones who created this shit. They're the ones who sit in front of it.
Yep.
They're the ones who want you to believe.
They are the ones who are supposed to be representing Christ.
Yeah.
The Pope's supposed to be the voice of God on earth. Yeah, which God are you talking about? It's not the one that died on the cross.
And look, there's a face in the face.
Yep.
There's your reptilian fucking serpent-like thing. And I noticed, I'm sorry I didn't acknowledge it earlier, there was somebody who stated that Stargate has a lot more truth in it than you'd realize. And when you see an image like this, you see that serpent-like fucking entity that is spoken of in the Stargate fucking TV series. And then you see the human trying to exist within its torturous reign of terror over and above it.
Oh, yeah, they found Stargates. That's one of the reasons they went into Iraq, was because of the Stargate there. But there it is. This is the head of the Christian movement around our society. Yeah.
That's it.
There it is. Can't hide that. It's quite out there telling everybody we are lying to you.
Well, that's the thing. They're not. They're not. They're telling you straight out. It's just people don't want to accept the obvious truth.
Yeah.
It's so fucking painful. And you know, mapped it out.
There it is. Right, can't hide that.
Well, unfortunately, I never really learned that much about the Italian language. I was too busy being traumatized by being in the presence of an Italian nun.
Mm. Now we have to question everything that comes out of their mouths.
No, there's no real question for me, man. I don't have any great question about whether these people are good or evil. It's been obvious to me from as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Where there's religion, there is evil.
Yep. No matter which one, they're all tarnished.
Anything that is telling you what to do and how to do it is not right. Anything that's asking you to open your mind and look and see for yourself, now that's something different. You don't see a lot of it. You've actually really got to look for it, and you've got to want to know within yourself whether you want to go and find the truth. If you want to keep bowing and bending the knee and choosing what to eat because somebody told you to, then there's not a lot of hope for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to say. But if you choose to, oh, well, I can't eat this because some cunt told me to, and for no fucking good reason, then I can't help you. You can't help yourself.
Or take a particular medication because you're told to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The people that are doing all of this are not on your side.
That's right.
They are on the side of a deceiver.
Mm.
Their mantra is deception. You cannot hide that sort of evidence, and you still wonder why people that live in that area would worship at that place.
Yeah.
It's just, there it is, mate.
I mean, and surely you'd have to feel the presence of evil unless you're that detached.
Well, they've very effectively detached us from who and what we really are. And that's why I think it's interesting, the thing about the laser light, the Sanskrit.
Yes. Now, there was a comment on that. Somebody did request, looks like they've cleared out. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, my team cleared those out. I had reserved them, and I believe I found something. Is this what you were looking at, Darryl? DMT code visual catalog.
Yes.
The dmtcode.com. Very simple and straightforward, but for those of you who struggle, there it is in the comments, and I will also place that into the Telegram, which is where the ultimate source of everything that I attempt to share will be. So it's probably not as much as many would like, but you know what? I don't spend all day, every day, searching for the deepest, darkest, horrible thing I can find for everybody's entertainment. I generally spend most of my time meditating and trying not to fall into the realm of darkness, because you know what? It takes about 20 minutes on X to find all the darkness you really need. But let's trying to hold a positive light is a challenge, but fundamentally in 2020, researcher Danny Gola reported a novel phenomenon. He found that shining a 650 nm red laser through a diffraction grating during N DMT administration produces discrete visual symbols resembling alphabetic characters on any surface. Over 3,000 participants have since replicated this protocol, with an 87% reporting consistent symbol observations. That's better statistics than fucking vaccination effectivity.
Mate, absolutely.
The 650 nm wavelength, when projected through a diffraction grating across grid or star pattern, creates a structured visual field that interacts with endogenous DMT-induced visual processing. Observers report seeing discrete bounded symbols that appear to float within or overlay the diffraction grid pattern. These symbols exhibit remarkable inter-subject consistency. Independent participants report identical geometric and alphabetic-like elements in the same context settings. There you go. You guys can read up on that all on your own. A hell of a lot of very interesting shit. That's just but one of them. There are a few other things. There's alien insects on drugs. That doesn't want to make you want to take drugs now, does it?
No.
Don't want insects. That's the kind of shit you hear horror stories. I'm going to scratch that shit out of me. The man who can prove life is simulation with just a DMT vape and a laser.
Yeah.
January 28th, 2025. So that's just a year and a bit ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's and that was a really quick search that I found that, ladies and gentlemen. All I typed in was DMT at laser, I think is all I put in, and that's what I come up with. So it's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, the Alphabet Agency is looking very heavily into that.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. And at this point, I'd also like to put the disclaimer: neither I nor Darryl are encouraging you to take DMT and shine lasers in your eyes. If you decide to do that, you've done that on your fucking own. As it openly states at the beginning of this podcast, this is for entertainment purposes only, and I hope you're entertained. Sips.
Entertained. Sips. Absolutely.
Anything you decide to do as a result of watching this is purely up to you, because I'd like to think that you actually have the ability to think for yourself, although the government doesn't think that you do.
And doesn't want you to think for yourself either.
Certainly not.
It's a crazy world. We've just exposed a little bit more of its secrets. tonight.
Just a few more. Just a few more. Certainly not the conversation I expected to be having this evening. Amazingly, I was prepared for a lot of it. Like, there's a lot of things I just found today. I thought, I'm just going to tuck that away just in case. And it all just happened to come up anyway, as if the force was flowing through me. It could also just be that's what everybody's thinking and watching at the same time. We just happen to be thinking that because that's what's happening. So anyway, no need to read too much into it. Well, my friend, we've gone above and beyond the Call of Duty here. It's like, 3.5 hours. And I'll thank you very much for coming on and sharing your astounding knowledge of the realm that we call Earth with me and the audience. So big sips to you, Darryl.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, Matty. Always a pleasure, mate.
I always enjoy it. Whether the camera's here or not, we always seem to have the same conversation. I love that. That like it's like, well, there's an audience. It wouldn't have mattered if the audience was here or not. We would have had the same conversation anyway. And I think that's the ultimate tribute that it can never be paid. Is that we are just that this is who we are.
That's it.
We are telling it exactly whether the camera was here or not. We would discuss this. This is exactly we've probably gone even deeper and darker in private. But I struggle to think at the time. But anyway,
mate, it's going to be a good episode for people to go back and look over. There's been something there for that whole 3.5 hours to keep the mind active. So we still have to dive into
the ding of the bell from your phone, just to emphasize that. I was like, that was the exclamation mark on your sentence.
My phone's always going off.
Oh, the universe speaks in mysterious ways. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Well, I think we'll leave it at that for this evening. We'll go out on a song because somebody else did say, hey, they wanted more. It was Belinda. That's right. Belinda asked for some more of it. So this is not going to be as heavy. I'm going to be a little bit more kind to you. This is actually the last film clip I ever did before leaving Melbourne. There was going to be a second film clip, but Queensland called. So here I am. So look, thanks heaps, Darryl. Much appreciated, and I look forward to doing it again someday. For those of you who are keen and have nothing better to do on Sunday, Heidi and I will be doing a podcast. She has some information she'd like to share. More to the point, she wants to put things on the public record, which is an important statement unto itself. So on Sunday, we will be doing a Sunday show. It won't be as extensive as this. We're going to be brief in and out because, of course, everybody's got better things to do. As Darren was saying, because he's, obviously, you've got business. Working on court cases. I thought you'd be doing the family thing, but no, you're still working away, unable to make it as a result. But that's fair enough. You're doing your thing to save the universe in your way.
Yeah. We've been trying to get together we've got probably about half a dozen cases on our plate, so we've just got to do something because we haven't been able to do for the last 2 weeks. So Sunday was it, mate. It's like, oh well, got to be done. Too much on the plate.
Resurrection of its own kind.
Yeah.
And Darren's, he has a beast to smoke and devour, as you do.
With his Constitution watch.
Yep. So, it is what it is. Tune in, 11 o'clock Queensland time, which I believe Victorian time will finally have caught back up into the normal realm by then.
At last.
Yep. No more manipulation of time.
Yeah. And I was told by a couple of doctors, actually, they said every time daylight savings kicks in, the heart attacks go through the roof.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Coming from GPs. So,
I would have thought some kind of psychosis, perhaps, because, it's funny enough, like, I've had this conversation so many times over the years. Well, what the fuck time is it? And it's like people get confused whether we're going up or down. So there's this two-way leeway. It's supposed to be a 1 hour of where we're either going forwards or backwards. But because we don't know whether we're going forwards or backwards or not, people get lost.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden 11 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and everybody's fucked up and got no idea what's going on. And you got to wonder, how is this good? You know, I remember reading in a handbook when working for AMP a long time ago that, you know, shift work was fundamentally considered a form of abuse. Changing people's schedules and fucking with their body clocks it's a mental torture.
Yep.
It's somehow become an accepted practice for a large part of the of society, not just here in Australia, because daylight savings was invented in America, funnily enough. All bad ideas seem to come from there. But go figure. And again, I will forever stand by the, well, if you don't like the time and you needed to change it, why did you change it back?
Yeah.
Go figure.
Go figure, mate. Yeah. And of course, it was the Catholic Church who was screwing around with our calendars.
Yeah.
The Gregorian calendar to we lost apparently a month, I think, when they reset the whole calendar thing.
What was the Julian calendar?
Julian calendar.
The Julian calendar was so fucking out of whack.
Yeah.
They complete all their seasons and their clock, everything was fucked.
Yeah.
But when you work off a sundial, how do you fuck it up?
Yeah, and apparently,
like I jokingly said to you the other day, and on the third day, Jesus said, "Move the sundial." Like, what the fuck? Who thought this was a good idea? Midday is midday. Doesn't matter what fucking season it is. It doesn't matter whether it's winter, autumn, midday is midday. The fucking shadow is there. It's fucking pretty simple.
Yeah, what do they screw around
the
with
idea
it?
of daylight savings is utterly retarded.
Totally. It has to be a reason for it, and now we know it attacks the body, just can't handle it.
Head. There's the only reason is to fuck with your head.
Yep. And of course, if you go off the sundial and the movement of the moon and everything like that, there's actually 13 months.
Exactly. And it's been put to me by certain people that acknowledge the earth and the heavens in its proper state that there's 13 constellations as well.
That's right.
12 apostles, 1 Jesus. That adds to 13, doesn't it?
Does. That's right. Very powerful number.
Mm-hmm. A number that they don't like to talk about. Very powerful number in the Aztec Mayan fucking culture as well. But that's for another day. Let's end off on this film clip. And thank you very much, Darryl. I look forward to the next yarn. And I'm sure we'll upset and piss everybody off just a little bit more next time.
I look forward to it.
So do I. Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
You too, bud.
There it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks heaps. See, everybody was rocking away. Don't forget, Sunday, 11 o'clock, and I'll see you then. And until then, don't forget to keep yourself dehydrated. Sips.